Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Rebecca and this is my very first live. I was live with Crystal, but this is like my own live. Anyway, so I'm bringing Sheila in as our guest. So hang on, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Woohoo! We're here.
I look a little different than I did a few minutes ago.
You look just as good as you did a few minutes ago.
I was a mess.
No, you weren't. I know you probably feel like you were, but you weren't.
Well, I have lip gloss on now, so it's all good.
Well, I've got my trusty chapstick next to me. So, can't leave home without it.
Don't forget lotion because you don't want to have,
Crusty hands.
yeah.
Well, nobody's going to see my hands though, but I always put lotion on, but they might still look a little crusty right now.
I'm sure mine do. I'm looking to see if you've the notifications not popped up for some reason.
I did get one on my other phone. And it's funny how behind we are. I'm just looking. I got it pulled up so I can see. Oh, hi Crystal. Hi Kathy.
Yay, there's people in here.
Yay, people other than myself. Because I got it on my phone so I can see. But this one's kind of acting naughty. Come on, come up, come up. Okay, there it is.
I usually have it on my TV and then I just stop it on my phone. I don't play it on my phone, but I can watch the chat and respond to the chat on my phone. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I would do too sometimes. I would probably not so much anymore that I actually have a computer that works nice now. But
by the way, don't forget to like and change it to all messages, not just top messages.
That's right.
I'll be the Rebecca today.
I don't even see where I have that option to do that. I must have it all, I guess.
Well, it's party today. Just so you know, I did put something on special for you because it is your channel. I did have to put some fancy. It's near Texas. I have my little cowboy boot earrings.
I thought I saw a splash of red back there.
Yeah, these are they're actual leather cowboy boots for you in Texas.
Did you get those from Texas?
I have had them for years. I don't even remember where I got them.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
That's cool. I've got these are copper. So my stepdad made these for me.
Oh, nice.
They're like stamped, mm-hmm. You don't. Yeah. Crystal, are you in the car right now?
Yes, because Joseph has the music loud, she said.
Oh. Trying to stay awake, I guess.
Not that late. They're not that old. I
don't know. Maybe he worked all day today. I was out in the sun all day today. I had errands to run. My husband had a doctor's appointment. And it was hot. Oh my gosh. And we were, okay. So I went to Joann's today. I haven't been there in a long time. And there's just not one conveniently near me. And I just, there's just not a lot of stuff I need from there. I've got my own Joann's here. But I went to the one in South Austin, and my mind was blown when I walked in. And I immediately texted Crystal, "Have you been to this Joann's in South Austin?" She goes, "Oh yeah, that's the one I go to." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is insane. It's huge. There's even a section for kids crafts.
Fun.
An area where they can pull butcher table across and color and then another area where you can craft, and all the stuff there is free. a huge wall of yarn. Like it's crazy. It's huge. It's so huge. I
Wow.
was thoroughly impressed.
We don't have one like that right by. I mean, I have two fairly close. I mean, by close, I mean probably within 4 or 5 miles of me, two of them. But yeah, they're not that fancy. They're pretty old. I did go to one when I was in Austin. It was like in a shopping center. I know that I feel like the Container Store was pretty close to there, and I'm trying to think.
Oh,
There was a golf store there close by
the
there.
Domain. I think that's in the Domain area.
I don't know,
Sort
but
of. Sort of. It's not. It's or the Arboretum Domain. It's northish. It's not
probably
super
because
north.
my daughter lives more north. But
Yeah.
I forgot I was going to get some Astros fabric, but I didn't get. I thought I'd go back. I went with my friend, but then thought I'd go back, but I didn't go back because I wanted to make a hat.
Hey, Martha. Martha wants to know what's in your cup. She can't stay because she's eating dinner right now, but she wants to know what's in your cup.
Some ginger ale and something else. I think it's called Headless Horseman, ginger ale and vodka and lime.
Ooh, fancy. I
I
have.
normally wouldn't be drinking it, but I had some from my colonoscopy, so I was like, okay, because I haven't had sodas in months. How come I'm not seeing any chat?
I've got water in my cup and some ice.
Oh, it would help if I put comments instead of private chat.
Oh, is that what you were on the private chat? That's funny.
Yeah.
We're not commenting there. That would just be you and
I. Well, enjoy your dinner, Martha.
Yes. What are you eating? What are you guys having for dinner? Oh, yeah. Hit the like button before you go. I wish I can see who's here. I guess I just have to rely on everybody saying hi. Say hi. Let me know where you are. I want to see who's here.
Well, it says that 6 are watching. I know one of those is me. Woo! Hey,
one of them.
We already beat Crystal's 4 people. Goals. Hashtag goals.
Martha's having barbecue.
Nice. Enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoy.
I know Crystal always had more than 4 people. She's just joked.
She has always said. Yeah, because I was asking her something earlier. She's like, no, I just spoke to my 5 people.
And that would be, we would be 2 of this 5. So yeah. Not always.
Bye, Martha.
Martha's leaving now, but I can tell she doesn't want to. She's wondering what you'll miss out on.
You'll have to eat quickly. Come back.
You can come back. Anyway, it took us a little while to figure it out, but Rebecca did.
I know.
Kudos to her. This is also kind of a test run for you.
Yeah, my brain was working hard, trying to make sure I got it right, because I tried earlier in the week and I was just getting frustrated, and but we got it. We did good. Glad to have you here to help out.
Takes 2.
Okay, so since we've got a little sprinkle of people here right now, how about we talk about how you and I met? Go.
Well, pretty much on Crystal's channel, we started chatting. You had your channel, and I started watching you. And gosh, probably messaged stuff because we're both enablers.
Yeah.
And then I went to visit my daughter in Austin, and Rebecca was kind enough, as was Crystal. So I got a 2-fer. But Rebecca was kind enough to come and pick me up and take me to some of the local quilt shops and things. So it was really nice.
That was fun. And we were just constantly
yeah, I convinced her not to eat bad barbecue. So there, you're welcome.
Yeah.
The other place wasn't bad though.
Where did we end up going?
Someplace where it was like half of you went in and you could pick different stuff, and it was huge. I just remember I got like some sort of burrito thingy, and it was huge. I don't know the name of it,
I don't
but
even remember. I do
they
not
made it
remember.
right there. They had a bunch of people up there making it, as you said. You said it was
Oh,
like Mexican. Well, I guess Chipotle is. I've never been to Chipotle either,
did
so
we go to Cabo Bob's?
I don't know. Maybe
It was like Chipotle,
there were
right?
cops in there, just eating. By the way,
Oh,
not the
or maybe
skin.
it was it Mod Pizza?
No, it was no, it wasn't pizza. It was like Mexican. They had burritos and stuff.
Must be Cabo Bob's. It's got to be. It was like it's similar to Chipotle, right?
I'll take your word for it. I've never had Chipotle, so
Crystal
it wasn't
says,
bad though. Better than the barbecue, I'm sure.
"Oh yeah, for sure."
Mhm.
I'm not a huge barbecue fan because I've never been a huge fan of meat. But Crystal
She
says I'm
said,
acting,
"Rebecca, you acting like me now, not being able to remember."
except I'm older, so I did it first. I've
I'll be leaving it up
always
to the
been this
old
way,
lady here.
huh?
Y'all leaving it up to the old lady, remember?
I'm because I know we were having a hard time deciding on where to go, and I we were trying to think of healthy options, but something not too far. And
Right, right. It was good though. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was a lot. I feel like it was good, good for your money too.
yeah. And the first place we were gonna go was Smoky Mo's, and that's not my first, second, third, or even 10th choice, but
It
it's
was
like a
there. It
fast.
was close by, and you were just worried about me, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's like fast food barbecue, I guess, is kind of. And my husband, who likes eating massive quantities of food, likes that as a fast food barbecue option. And I just go along with it because I don't usually eat a whole lot anyway. But Butterfly Hero, hello. Who is? I have a feeling I know who Butterfly Hero is, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You'd have to let me know who you are.
Mystery. I told my daughter, but I don't think she's coming on. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
really?
well, because she was asking, because I was having some computer issues, of course, but figured it out. We figured it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I thought so. That's my mom.
Aw, hi, Mom.
Hi, mom.
So I did learn something about you when we met, though,
Oh,
that
yeah.
doesn't come across right away when like you meet you, but when you get to know you, that you kind of have a wicked sense of humor. As does your mom, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That so yeah, I appreciate that about you.
I get it very honestly.
Yeah.
Very, very, very honestly. My mom's sisters, my mom's brothers, my grandmother, yeah, they're all very much so.
Good, good. Keeps life fun.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
When and my kids have, a good sense of humor, but my son is very extreme, more like a couple of my uncles. And so when my kids were little, um he would just he loved to mess with my daughter. And so
Wow.
my
That's
husband would
normal.
tell him, he's like, you have a bigger funny bone than most people, so you have to remember that other people don't, their funny bones aren't as big as yours, so you can't expect them to react the same way or think that the same things are funny.
We're
Yeah,
all like me and my kids, we all have we don't take things too seriously. We're all pretty funny.
yeah,
We
yeah.
just we appreciate humor. And we did live in England for a number of years, and they don't take things seriously at all that way,
Oh
Like,
no.
no, don't take the mick out of it. Like, no. It's like there's no. I mean,
Yeah, they have a.
I don't know if you've watched British shows or anything, but their humor,
Mhm.
like the Brits are like that. I love it though. I really do actually. We felt
I
right
like
in there.
Mr. Bean. I grew up watching Mr. Bean, and I didn't grow up watching the Vicar. Is it the Vicar? But
Dibley.
The Vicar of Dibley, yeah. My in-laws like watching that show, and it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, Crystal's right. It would be boring if you take everything seriously. I would hate to be that person, though. Could you imagine being offended by everything all the time? Ugh, no.
I'm sure we all know people like that.
Tend to ignore them.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. So my high school is having its 40th year, like my class. I'm that old, reunion. And for like homecoming, and one of the people in charge of it's like very extreme politically. And I just think it would almost be enough to put me off, to be honest. If anyone was considering going, just that she's so extreme politically, that she takes everything so seriously, and it's all, I would just like, no. Everybody in this country has a right to their feelings and their beliefs and that sort of thing, as long as you don't hurt anybody else. And you can believe one thing and take it seriously, but to like think other people are evil for thinking differently is wrong. I feel, so
yep. And if you just really don't like what they think, then just separate yourself from them. You don't have to hang around them. You don't have to talk to them or be around them or anything, just separate yourself and go about your own ways.
Right.
Have fun with somebody else. Yeah, politics ruin the fun. That's for dang sure. They sure do. Oh, hi, Helen. She's just stopping by to say hi.
Hi, Helen.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Just go your own way. Do your own thing. You don't have to. I'm
one of these people, I feel I'm pretty easy to get along with. But if I rub somebody the wrong way, I feel like everybody's personality probably rubs somebody the wrong way, right? I'm like, okay, you don't like me. It's okay. I don't take it personally. I'm like, hey, go have a nice life. There are other people out there for you, right? Yeah.
Like, sayonara. Don't let the door hit you on the butt.
Your lies. Peace out.
Exactly. You're missing out.
I could be sharing all the crafty stuff with you, but never mind.
Yeah. Too bad, so sad. Go be boring somewhere else.
Right. Right. So that's the hey. So yes.
Everybody's not for everybody. And that's the same thing like with YouTube channels, right? You find the people that you like to watch, and even though all these people are doing the same thing, you don't click with everybody. You don't, enjoy watching everybody. So you just watch, you find the ones you like to watch. Right. Like Crystal, I stopped on her channel because I just enjoyed watching her.
I told you why I subscribed to Crystal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Why did you start following Crystal?
Well, I found Crystal because of Sew Sampler boxes, as so many have. But then I was like, I looked at her channel to see what else she had. And she was in a cross stitch. She had a couple floss tubes. So I was like, I like to cross stitch. And I was watching, her tea-dye fabric and some of her canning. But she came in once, she had a Saint shirt. I'm like, oh, I am subscribing because she's a fellow Houdat.
So explain that to people who don't know what that is.
Oh, Saints fans, New Orleans Saints fans. Like, yeah, we're Houdat Nation. I almost wore my Saints stuff.
Okay. I'm not a sport. Is that football?
Yes.
I have no clue.
Oh, you didn't know that, Crystal? That is 100% why I subscribe to you.
I have no clue.
Yes, it is National Football League, NFL football.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the Saints are a football team. No, soccer. Hey, if you told me it was soccer, I would have believed you.
We could mess with you so much.
Huh?
We could mess with you so much.
Right? Because I have no clue. About the only, like when I was younger, I was familiar with basketball just because like my cousins, they liked it, and I grew up hanging with my boy cousins. That's just who was my age, and I had fun, and we played basketball, and they would teach me about basketball, whatever, right? Like, so I knew some of the people and teams and stuff. And plus, there was a period of time where it was very much, and probably still is, but where it was very much a part of fashion trends, right? Having certain basketball teams on your, you know, on your gear, on your clothing. And so I only know stuff just because of that. But
What about the Jordans now, though? Like
well,
everybody
yeah,
in their tennis
like
shoes, you know. But that's
Chicago
like back
Bulls.
in the day when Jordan was still playing.
Yeah, I remember Chicago Bulls. Like Chicago Bulls stuff was super popular, and everybody always wanted to have all of that stuff on. Um, that was probably the biggest one. And then sometimes, Lakers, or sometimes like just random things. And it's like,
Don't forget the Celtics. My mom was a huge Celtics fan.
yeah. There was
Huge.
definitely
She was from
several that
West
were,
Virginia.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. I watched wrestling when I was younger too. I mean, I hung out with my boy cousins. That's who was my age, and that's what I did. And that was
Your
yeah.
mom says the Giant. She knows.
Yeah. You know what? I do remember they were winning a lot of stuff, right? Like
When Eli was quarterback, Eli Manning, son of Archie, former Saints quarterback, FYI. Yeah, they won twice. They won the Super Bowl twice under him.
Crystal said, I feel like everybody watched wrestling in the 90s. Did you watch wrestling, Crystal? I watched. I did. I mean, it was a big deal. And I do remember when, like, because when you're young, you think it's real. And I remember starting to get to the age where it was like, huh, it's a show, right? And it was a little disappointing when you find out it's not real. But yeah, we did wrestling, we did the old pile drivers and stuff. And I don't know, I can't even tell you what else, but yeah, wrestling. But anyway, since childhood, the only thing I really know anything about is golf. And that's because my husband likes golf. And that's it. I don't, and he doesn't even barely watch that anymore.
I feel like golf has changed so much just because they had you had the PGA, and then you had the other one from the Saudis trying to take over. And then, like, are they going to merge? Are they not going to merge? Like, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Oh, yeah. There's like a smaller tour. They're trying to get.
The Saudis are trying to like make inroads.
They're trying to make a tour. Yeah.
My dad was a big golfer.
My husband was telling me about that. Some tour, they're trying to get pros over there to make a bigger tour and all that stuff. And I don't know. But definitely Tiger Woods changed the sport so much. And, it's not just for old white men anymore. And they make a lot of money, and it like completely transformed it. It was amazing. And when we were in the military.
I'm sorry, your mom is like, what is getting too political? Like, it starts to get too political. I don't know if she's
maybe wrestling.
Oh,
we've got a delay, so
right.
Helen's son was
I'm just curious.
Helen's son was a diehard fan and still is. He's 29. Oh my gosh, yes. When we were in the military, another guy that worked where my husband worked in his 30s was a huge wrestling fan. And I was just like, who is this guy? And don't you have like some things you need to go do?
I feel like MMA has like taken over some of that. People really,
that's changed. The golf situation.
No, the wrestling people that were like really into wrestling too, probably like more into MMA stuff too.
Oh yeah. I know there was a big deal. Like my husband was talking about how the rules changed for MMA. It used to be kind of a no holds barred kind of thing, like oh, bye, Helen.
Who knew we talk about sports?
I know, right?
I was like, what do you want to talk about?
We talk about sports. Us quilty ladies talk about sports.
About football. I'm in another like group and they Zoom on Sundays, but like you can't talk about sports. So like I don't usually during football season, I never join because football.
I mean, I don't care. I just tune you out if I don't want to listen to it.
I mean, like this is the like they started last week. I mean, this first big weekend for like NCAA football.
Is that college?
LSU is playing on Sunday. Go Tigers.
Yeah. Is that college?
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say the college here has like
Yes, Crystal. Some
preseason games.
Yeah.
I think that isn't. I don't know what sport but is it the college here? Either
Are you
Texas
talking about University of Texas, the Longhorns?
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I hear their name and that they're a big deal with sports and stuff.
They like to think so. Ooh, I said that. I think this is their last year before they move to the SEC, and they are going to have a rude awakening. Yes, they are. Because let's just face it, even in Texas, A&M has been doing way better than UT. It's so bad.
You're funny. You're all into it and stuff.
I really actually am. I do love football. Like I was voted most spirited in my high school. But also, let me say, we'll bring it back to sewing. So, in Louisiana, there where I'm from, like very into spirit. You know, we had pep rallies. Like my daughter's school here, they had like maybe 2 pep rallies a year, which is weird. We had pep rallies every Friday, but we would have like on big games, we had a spirit week all week, and we would have like themes. I would literally sew outfits for spirits, like spirit days and things like that. Yes, I would.
Wow.
I know. Your mom, I am making a hat. I've got some fabric for, I know, right? I mean, like, that's crazy. So I was voted most spirited in my school. I just say that really means that I had the biggest mouth. I was the loudest person cheering. But
Yeah,
also,
I
let
can
me
see
tell
that.
you, like, okay, I don't really tell people this. So when I was in high school, I was in the band. And at the time, our band, you know, we had auxiliary, you know, flag, majorette, and rifle. And you had to be in the band to be in an auxiliary. So, but I was also in the flag line. And my mom bought or just had it made, I guess. The woman who made my outfit made my skirt too short. And I literally had boys on like up on the railings as I'd be out there marching halftime.
Oh.
I had a nickname. It was Boom Boom because my skirt was too short and my butt was big. And I have yearbook signed to Boom Boom. I had a cheering section during halftime. Yeah, I did.
Did you know that's why they were calling you that?
Yes. Yeah. I would walk down the hall and I would hear Boom Boom. Hey, Boom Boom.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would be so embarrassed.
It is what it is. I was more embarrassed by being the person that wrecked the driver's ed car.
Oh my gosh.
I had a really crappy teacher, though. He was a coach. He didn't care. He took us on errands. He would leave us. And he didn't teach me. And my dad, because my dad was like, I'm going to let them teach you, right? But then my dad, okay, I'm going to tell you. So I actually got an F. It was the only F I got. Like, I'm not going to lie. probably maybe got an F in algebra. I had to retake it. But in all fairness to me, I was having a hard time because my mom was sick. And I was anemic and fell asleep in class every time. But he was like, "Oh, you've had your hours." And I said to him that I did not have my hours because driving him to his wife's work so he could have lunch with her, or driving him somewhere else so he could run an errand and just leave us sitting in the car, did not count as my hours because we were sitting in the car. I did go toilet paper his house. He was actually fired from the school system because he was abusive to the football players. He was bad. He was really bad. I cannot believe I'm putting this out there.
What's in your cup again?
I haven't had that much. Like, I don't know.
You were kind of naughty in high school.
I was such a good girl.
Okay.
People are they're totally missing. Probably got like 4 people and I'm one of them. So who cares?
That's funny.
So Crystal's probably laughing and her family's like, "Why are you laughing, Mommy?" And just like, "Oh, it's Miss Sheila."
Crystal said that cup must be empty now.
Not yet.
Close. Getting there.
So anyway, it's too bad. I was looking for Celine to be on. She didn't show up. Mm-hmm. We're gonna hang out. I'm trying to. So the Saints are playing the Texans in October, but somebody's going to be on a cruise, and I don't know when. Crystal, when are you going to be on your cruise? It doesn't matter because, well, anyway, I mean, I'm just saying, I've talked to my daughter and talked about me coming to Austin and then going to Texas to a Saints game. My friend is coming from Oklahoma. I don't know if Crystal wants to go or not.
Wait, the Saints, is it Saints in Texas is going to be here?
They're playing in Houston. I think it's the 19th of October.
Okay.
My daughter didn't have the time off to go to New Orleans.
That's not far from here, you know.
I know.
That's a drive. I mean.
I know. Oh, the 23rd. The game is on the 19th.
Oh. Party time. Party time.
I don't exactly. Okay, I'll have to get it all figured out. I got to talk to my daughter and get it all figured out. But yeah, that would be so much fun. My friend Amber is coming down from Oklahoma. She's my best friend I've known for like 24 years. Mm-hmm. You know how it is military. Like, I don't know. You're like, I don't know. I can speak for myself as a wife, as a spouse, versus active duty. Like, I feel like it's probably a little different, you know, like in that y'all have active duty, people have their own support network.
Yeah.
And the spouses kind of have to make their support network, to be honest. It's a little.
Yeah. Probably even more so back then, because as years have gone on, even while I was in, more and more support, you know, there'd be more support focused specifically for the spouse, because you know, you have to lift. You can't make a career, right? You can't unless you do something for the government, like a job that's needed at every installation, like a teacher or some sort of healthcare professional or something like that, right? Some sort of professional. You have to pick up and go. You can't, you know, a lot of spouses, well, that I saw, they would, you know, make livings being childcare providers because, you know, they're needed everywhere, especially overseas. The overseas one.
Well,
you just couldn't get enough.
Yeah, I had a little bit of an issue because that is true. Because in the military, you know, at the child care center, you have single military. You have a hierarchy of who can get in: single military, dual military, then spouse that's working for the military. It's like I was always a low man, so there was no way I was getting in.
Yeah,
like at the CDC. child development school, right?
Yeah.
So, but I did have a friend who knew someone that was a home daycare provider. And so one time she was at this person's house and we were going to do something. She's like, meet me at this person's house. So she was actually looking after the kids of the woman that was supposed to be the child care provider. But
Oh.
the actual child care provider was not in the home. She had this other woman looking after the kids, and then I remember the woman came home and she would stand outside and smoke her cigarettes, and I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm going to do this. There's none."
Yeah.
So I never put myself in a position to use a home daycare provider for that particular reason.
Yeah.
I did watch somebody's kids at some point that she would work shifts and sometimes she had to work evening and her husband was going to school. And so I would pick her girls up from school and bring them back to my house. I lived on base and bring them back and watch them, when she had the evening shifts kind of,
Yeah.
and she lived on base. But no, that was huge to me because I did not want to put my kids somewhere where I didn't know who might be watching my children.
Yeah.
So hi, Persida. Am I saying
Hi,
your name right?
Persida. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they're very strict. That's crazy.
yeah,
I
I did work and I lived overseas for 8 years total.
Yeah.
And we moved in England the first time, and I got pregnant. Like I think I was telling you, there's a person on YouTube that I was. She has an online quilting store.
Okay.
She has regular live videos,
Okay.
and she was talking about how she found it difficult because she couldn't find parking somewhere and this and that. And I was just like, and how her husband was out of town and she would always call 911 because like this latest case, maybe there was an alarm going off that needed batteries and she didn't know. So she called 911. And I was just like, she would never make it as a military spouse because when we very, very first moved to England and I'd never lived overseas and my daughter was not yet 2, and we moved into our house on base and it was not a huge base. And we moved in and the next day by 6:30, my husband was gone. He was deployed and he was special ops. I didn't know where he was. I didn't know when he'd be back. And come to find out, I was pregnant. I'd gotten pregnant in the meantime because he had just come back from Korea. So
Yeah.
come back from like a year long, tour in Korea. And so I was not on any birth control at that time, while he was gone. And I had my daughter and everything. And then boom, got pregnant. And literally moving into my house, unboxing, unpacking and find out I'm pregnant. And while I was 8 months pregnant, I had to move because they were closing down that base and moving the whole unit to another base in England. So yeah.
The military spouse has to be I don't want to say perfect, but you have to be you have strict parameters because whatever you do directly reflects upon the service member. If you get in trouble, it's the service member's fault. They're responsible for you. They're responsible for everything you do, everything that happens. It's on them. So,
but consequently, if they step out of line and they do something wrong, they cover for their butts. I will tell you that 100%.
Yeah.
And there's no real recourse for the spouses. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
So
hi, Tyra. Hi, Persida.
Hi. Anyway, but I loved being overseas. I loved experiencing different cultures and things. It was a lot of fun. I met some great people I still keep in touch with. Like sometimes I feel like those bonds like are really even closer when you're overseas. You really have to rely on each other.
Yeah. It's such a tight community.
Yeah, it is.
And I do have to say, I enjoyed our time overseas. I feel like as Americans, as people from the U.S., we are kind of in a bubble.
Very much.
Yeah. And you don't realize how much of a bubble you're in until you go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm having this weird delay here.
But no, I really, I was for, like, I love England. I lived in Germany for 2 years. And the funny thing is that three kids born in three different countries, actually. So I got to experience quite a bit there, different healthcare. But I really do. I love England though so much. But
Yeah,
it's probably because, I don't know, maybe because so much of my ancestry from over there too. I don't know if
yeah.
that makes a difference or not.
You feel a deep connection.
Maybe, even though apparently I'm 3% German. Which, okay.
Well, wasn't there was a group of people that from Central Europe, the Anglos, didn't they go up to England and settle that area, whatever? I don't know.
Well, I
I
mean,
don't know.
I know that the Vikings and stuff came over in that, so but it's like really, really interesting. I lived in a little town called Kalkar. It was north of Dusseldorf. It was
Mm,
in what's called a military world. I did not live on a base. It was called a geographically separated unit. So I actually lived in the town, it was almost like a village, really. And so I got to kind of immerse. I tried sending my son to the kindergarten there, but it was really weird.
mhm,
The German kids there. So when the wall came down, a lot of the people from East Germany that had formerly been on the other side of the wall
mhm.
moved over there, right? And they thought my son was one of those. And even though he didn't speak German, and they weren't particularly nice to him. It's weird.
Oh no.
Imagine the Germans being a little racist and stuff. I don't know. But
Yeah.
so we ended up moving him over with my daughter to it was the smallest at the time Dodds school in Europe, and it was in the Netherlands. So the kids actually went to the school in the Netherlands. So they got that. So, a lot of from that. And I loved that my wife's group, not all the wives belonged to the group, but it was a NATO base. So there were wives from all the NATO countries. So I really
Mm-hmm.
got to learn a lot that way. And we would go on field trips and things. So it was a lot of fun. Mhm. I will say, I found myself, and I really think it's because I'm from Louisiana originally, even though I live in Virginia, but the Italians, and I don't know if it's a warm weather thing, if it's a food thing, and just an enjoy and relax thing, but really kind of related to the Italians. Even though they're Canadians, you would have thought, but no, the Italians. I found that I related to them.
That's cool. So
Yeah.
Tyra is staying the Waldorf school. What was the school?
So my kids went to an American Dodds school
Yeah.
in the Netherlands, but there was a school in Dusseldorf. I don't know the name that the older kids went to, and it
Mhm.
was an international school that spoke English. But I don't know. The Canadians were nice. We actually presented, so we'll say this: we got a cat, and there was a lovely lady, and so they had some furniture delivered, and a cat jumped off the truck, and they fed the cat, and the cat could, but their son was highly allergic, so they couldn't keep the cat, so we had to
Oh,
keep the cat from then. Of course, everybody knows the Canadians are so nice, like no problems.
yeah.
Like for real. But just the Italians, I think it was the food thing. I think it's the warm weather, and there's like,
Like a chill attitude.
yes, that comes from being from someplace that is a different, like, I don't know, the warm, hot weather environment. I don't know. Crystal, you can tell me, you're from the
Isn't there, don't they have this way of thinking that's supposed to be like you're supposed to take your time
Canadian.
eating, take your time, like you're supposed to be relaxing with everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was just,
Um,
I mean, like, what I found is not right or wrong or anything else, to be honest. It's just that it's what people are used to.
yeah.
Like, if you're used to a time with longer winters, and it's a different, you're more closed in. I did live for that year that my husband was in Korea. I lived in Michigan with his family, and it was very different for me,
Yeah.
versus living in Louisiana, which is,
Hmm.
is very
It's
different, you know.
yeah. Well, when we were in Germany, we lived in Wiesbaden,
Hmm.
um, which is right next to Mainz, and the we would go to Landstuhl for our medical stuff, but so we were a little bit away from. I guess Wiesbaden was somewhat of a large installation.
Hmm.
Not as big as Landstuhl, but and then when my husband was there before, when he first joined the military, he closed down someplace you were, I thought.
Well, we were Air Force. Y'all are Army, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone I spoke to was stationed there around the time that it was closing. I can't remember the name.
They did have more people at Calcar at one time because they had like the tower housing and stuff, but they had moved immigrants into that housing, like
Mm,
people, the Kurds had moved in there, which we're not going to talk about our experience with that. It wasn't great, but we're not going to get into that. Yeah. But there did used to be, but I thought that was the Air Force. But
I don't know. I get it mixed up. When I hear it, I know that's the place he was. But he was also there with his parents. His dad was Air Force, and so when he was younger, he was there, and they actually went across the wall because I guess there's a hole through the fence, and you can just kind of go and or something. It was something along those lines where you could just easily, and it wasn't closely monitored until all of a sudden some people from the what is it, the eastern side would show up and be like, what are you doing here?
Tara says, I got to say my boss is semi-racist German. She blames it on her culture. I went to Germany. No one else seemed racist. It's
No, they're not.
it's very interesting, Tara. Actually, I will say there was a spouse, an American spouse married to an American military in that little village I lived in, and she was of Cuban descent. And I saw Germans cross the street so they didn't have to walk next to her.
Oh,
Yeah.
when we were there, it wasn't like that. If anything, they didn't really like Americans. They didn't care what you looked like, but they knew you were American. So it was always they always stressed to us to try and look European. Don't wear sneakers because they didn't do that. Don't wear ball caps and t-shirts. Kind of look nice and presentable when you go out. Because at the time there was a lot of
When were you there?
terrorism around towards U.S. People. 2001? No, hold on. 2002 to 2005.
Okay, yeah. I do know that that was something that we were also warned about is to try not to stand. Now I'm going to tell you, me, my husband, my kids, we're all blonde people. So in Germany, like we didn't necessarily stand out. That's why I think for me, I definitely noticed for other people who
Uh,
interacted, but I did notice with some of the not Germans, but some of the people, other people that I was talking about, they did, yeah, other things happened. I did not like
when
American,
we were
but
there were a lot of Germans that didn't look like you. Like there were multiracial Germans. There were or multi,
but you were
so
in a bigger town, right? Because we were
yeah,
in
and
a smaller place.
I think I think it a lot of the Americans stayed there. They had a lot of expats, and they married the German women, and then because I want to say the women outnumbered the men at that when we were there. There was like there weren't enough men for all the women, so they would marry the American men, and sometimes they'd stay, and sometimes they go back to the States with them, but
Yeah.
yeah. So you had a lot of
There's a lot going on over there. I will just say that's like it's just with the whole immigration thing and different there's a lot that goes on over there.
yeah.
But um Yeah, I mean, I will say I did. I think because I tried to. I do not speak German, but I did try to speak the
Yeah,
language. I think that
yeah,
went, trying to make an effort helped. I think it matters if they're older Germans versus younger Germans.
yeah.
That makes a difference. A lot of younger Germans are fine to speak German or to speak English, whereas a lot of the older ones don't want to. So it just, yeah.
When we were
Tyra,
there,
did you live? Oh, you had a boss and she visited. Tyra did, but it is though. Did you experience that, Tyra?
she said no one seemed racist when she went to Germany. Her boss blames it on her culture, but she didn't experience that. No one else seemed
I'm
racist.
I'm glad she didn't experience it. I'm
Yeah,
I'm, I'm happy. That's because nobody should, right?
yeah.
Like nobody should.
When
So
we were there, the older folks liked would speak to would like to speak to us, right? We'd try to speak German and they would speak English, but the younger folks didn't necessarily. It was the younger folks wanted us gone. Whereas because it was, like generational, right? So the older folks that were there knew what it was like under Hitler, right? Under that all that stuff going on. But the younger kids grew up with
that was a
us
long
being
time
there.
ago.
Well, the old, I'm saying that when we were there, the older folks that were there, they knew that the US got them out of this, right?
Right, right,
Helped
right,
them out.
right.
But the younger kids that grew up with the US being there all this time, they didn't want us there anymore. They wanted us gone. So I
Oh,
don't know what it's
so
like
they didn't
now
want
because
their money and their economy? What?
yeah, yeah,
Like they
yeah,
didn't
as well as
understand that?
yeah,
I don't
and a
know.
lot of the US built a lot of stuff over there, right? We did make a lot of stuff and bring back their economy, um this was 20 years ago, right? So the young people 20
Yeah.
years ago didn't necessarily want to speak to us, but the older generation did.
Well, generations are funny that way. I'm sure things could be said about the younger generation here and such as well. I don't have anything against the Germans. Apparently, according to Ancestor DNA, I have cousins. you know, no idea that is true. Your mom was like, sometimes the younger generation has no idea what happened, and that's true.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They just, I sometimes try to think for me when I was younger, what were my thoughts as far as
Oh, look at
what the world was like or supposed to be like or whatever. But
yeah.
I just think that because I am, Gen X and it's such a small generation that,
Are you Gen X?
I am Gen X. And so I feel like that, baby boomers and what they call the greatest generation is such like, they loomed so big when I was young. Like, I don't know, my grandfather, lost his leg in the Battle of the Bulge. And but the funny thing is he used to
That's
come and
funny.
visit and like scare the kids.
Oh, with his leg.
I don't know, they'd be like, hey, come, he's just, I love my papa so much. And like, he'd always bring us like apples and oranges stuff because his family had like a market type business. But he'd peel apples for the kids in the neighborhood. Then he's like, hey, you'll see my leg. And he'd like tap on it and lift it up and it'd be wooden. And they'd be like, ah. So
So if anybody's wondering what I'm doing, it looks as if I'm going really slow because my camera's not able to focus, like it's got to
you're
focus
fine for
through.
me. You look good, like you're a little bright, but you're on time for me.
Yeah, I'm a little bit. I got a little bit of a lag. I'm trying to, and I think it's the lighting. If you look at once I did the lighting, the lighting is so horrible. Hold
So,
on.
in case y'all don't know, sometimes Rebecca and I will like FaceTime and we're supposed to be sewing or whatever. And then we're like 4 hours later.
I know. Did we sell much of anything? I
because
don't
I
know, but we
started
certainly
doing
talk
like,
about a lot of people.
oh, let me show and tell. Let me show
Oh,
and
yeah, we
tell.
do a lot of that.
Like, because I have like, I'm curious about her craft, but I have been crafting for so long, like, making things since really pretty
So,
much since I can remember.
so when did you start crafting? What got you into it? And like,
Well,
does your family,
so
does your mom?
when I was young, like a kid, right? My mom, I remember she did a little bit of crewel, but she actually put me in an embroidery class. There's a
Oh,
Mrs. Wasky in
oh,
our
okay.
neighborhood taught embroidery. So I did take an embroidery class. And then I did get a little sewing machine for Christmas one year, Santa brought, and it had like a glue cartridge you would put in. And I used to sew my sister like clothes for her Barbie and stuff like that.
Wait, hold on. A glue cartridge?
Yes.
So you were basically gluing stuff together.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, that's like back in the day. Yeah. And so I guess my parent and I, well, so one day I remember, I was gluing, I wanted to dry. We had this little lamp. It had a metal lampshade. I was like, I'm just gonna put it on the lampshade to dry while we go eat dinner. What's birdie?
Oh no.
But I actually have my mom's old sewing machine, old Singer. It's kind of one of those like cool green colors, like from I
Yeah.
don't know, late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, that's cool.
So like a few things for my sisters to sew my flags on the flag line. Like I said, so well, a woman in the neighborhood, she taught me how to sew. I sewed like a costume when I was a kid. So that was like my first thing sewing for myself, really.
Wow.
And that was fun. And embroidery is amazing if you're patient. An easy bake oven sewing machine. Yeah, that's a good way to describe. Also had an easy bake oven. I am a very good baker, by the way. I bake. I can make candy. I'm a very good cook. A lot of people can't bake and cook. I can. I am a
Yeah.
triple threat, actually, because
That's
I
my daughter. My daughter, she loves cooking, but she's not precise. So
you don't have to be precise for cooking. You have to
no,
be more
yeah,
precise for
exactly.
baking.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's chemistry.
She's like, oh, I just can't do it. I was like, well, because you got to follow the directions
Yeah.
exactly, and she knows that. So she does. She's good at making a pie crust. Actually, she's really good at making pie crust, and I think she kind of wings it a little bit. And I think you can do that with pie
Your
crust.
mom
But
does both. You must be lucky, she said.
I know whenever
Flexible.
we go visit, she'll ask what we want to eat.
Okay, let me ask you, what's your favorite thing your mom makes?
Chocolate peanut butter pie and rice and beans. Now you see I say the chocolate peanut butter pie first because I have a sweet tooth. I love I love chocolate.
What kind of beans are they?
Uh
Rice and beans. I love rice and I mean, obviously red beans and rice. Mm,
yeah, it's like red beans. Red beans and rice. Yeah.
chili, she said.
Really.
Yum. Lucky you. Yeah, my daughter, so my daughter was a nanny for a while and she did the dinners and she would call me all the time how to cook stuff. So apparently she's a good cook. But it's funny because she never cooks for me. And my son works like at restaurants, he's a cook and never cooks for me. They're like, Mom.
Yes,
Like,
red
yeah.
beans and rice.
Yes, to red beans and rice. Crystal says, "Yum!" Like now, it's gonna be that weather. Monday's traditionally red beans and rice day.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because it's a day you put it on, then you do your laundry and stuff, and then you don't have to worry about cooking as it's on the stove. It's
Yeah,
like,
but see now we have this thing called Instant Pot, canned beans,
nope, 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 not me. I mean, I do have canned beans, but I'm a red beans. That's from scratch, baby. So, yeah, but yeah, I love beans. Love beans. So, and I know that like different people, different cultures have different beans. Your mom says no, no, no. I'm with her on that. So yeah, but I've been cooking red beans in the instant pot. I
Yeah, I saw
I don't
that.
have instant pot. I don't have a ton of room for
Yeah.
extra stuff. So I just do it on the stove.
I do like the Instant Pot. I don't do the air fryer thing because it's just another oven. Really.
It's a convection oven.
I was intrigued by your Barbie clothes you were making.
I did the same. Oh, but I was going to tell you, my mom used to take us for every
Oh,
year
did you made Barbie clothes?
for my sister. You got to start with the dry beans. You can either quick soak them or you can either like soak them overnight, or you can do it quick where you like boil the water, set them aside for an hour and do it that way. Either
Hold
way.
on. What's meat water? What is meat water?
What?
What's meat water, Tyra? I've like, is it the water, like you boil some meat and then use the water from that?
I've never heard. Tyra, where are you from? I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Yes, I'm curious. Crystal has not heard meat water either.
What is meat water? Stock? Is that what she means?
I don't know.
I mean, okay.
Stock. Okay. Yeah. I mean, when I put sausage in my rice sausage, but it depends on the beans for sure. Because some I might be tempted to put some stock in. Of course, I got to do my like black-eyed peas.
Yeah, they're okay. I know. I'm not a huge fan of I love beans, but black-eyed peas, they're okay. I prefer.
You've never had them cooked right before, obviously.
Maybe. I like black beans. I like red beans. I like white beans, and I like gandules, pigeon peas.
Right?
I guess those aren't technically beans, are they?
What are pigeon peas?
They're little. They remind me of like split peas, like split peas. You know, like you make.
I gotta put down some black-eyed peas because my black-eyed peas are so freaking good.
My husband likes black-eyed peas. He used to love.
They're so good.
Yeah, beans are. I don't think they're the same. He liked the stuff that my grandmother used to make when we visit her. But she put pork in everything, and I don't cook with pork.
Yeah, but do you keep bacon dripping?
No, I don't buy pork.
But period. Like no bacon? No bacon dripping?
No, hello. I don't buy pork. So when we would go visit my mom, or if she came and visit us, yeah, she would buy bacon for my husband.
That's the problem right there. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm putting you down on the tiers of good cooks if you don't have bacon. I'm sorry. You're like, I'm okay with that.
Nope.
New Year's Day.
It's too salty.
Oh, no, that's too salty.
It is very salty. I don't like salty foods.
It's not too salty.
Oh my gosh.
You know, different kinds of bacon is not too salty.
My mom's cracking up because
she knows.
Yes.
She knows that I'm a better cook than you are.
And bacon for the kids. Yep. Yep. Once the kids got older, she, because she gets them whatever they want when we go visit. She makes whatever they want.
I will say I make really good biscuits. My mama, who's from Georgia, taught me how to make biscuits. I got the touch. I can make really good homemade biscuits too. That's like, to be honest, I've lost at least like 35 pounds, right? I've like really changed my diet and I've been doing really well. And if there's one thing I really want, it's some dadgum homemade biscuits. Yeah, that's what I want. But I was going to say, my mom, so when we would get out of school for the summer, I still remember to this day, the name of the little craft store in town. It was called the Yellow Canary. And she would always take us to the that's why I said meat water. I don't have to be pork, but it need to be some kind of meat. Yeah. So, So I get what she's saying with that. But my mom would take us to the Yellow Canary and we would get some sort of craft. I remember like this Holly Hobby, like diorama through the I would cut little things so exact, like glue with little pieces of toothpick, different things. I made a decoupage. Made a decoupage pail with strawberries that I gave to my mama. And after she passed, I wanted it back, but my sister had like done away with it or something. I thought my mom always put it out like in her kitchen. And just little things, like I don't know. And then did latch hooking with my mom. And so when I started, I remember I was in college, it was in the 80s, and cross stitch was thing. And I started cross stitching and I really liked it. And cross stitching was, I am slimmer. Thank you, Chris. I'm probably at least 25, close to 30 pounds slimmer than I was there. Maybe.
Really?
Yeah. I've been doing really, really well.
Wow.
South Carolina. She's
That's
from
great.
South Carolina, but she lives in yeah, I've been doing really well. Now this ginger ale drink aside. So let me ask Tyra a question real quick. I'm sorry to stop my story, but Tyra, did your family make greens? Like, are you a greens person? Y'all do collards?
My grandmother did. My husband would love her collard. He loved her collards. And she'd have pork in them, She'd have a pot just sitting on the stove.
So I learned from a friend. I don't know where she's from. I don't know, she's from North Carolina, South Carolina originally. Now, my dad loved collards. Now, my dad was from the South. His family's from the South. But my mom's family, Crystal never had. Okay, here's the thing. Crystal never had collards. Here's the thing. Everybody's like, ooh, South Louisiana. South people from South Louisiana think they're all that. I'm just going to put that. And y'all do, right? And there's great food. But they do not have soul food in South Louisiana. You got to go to North Louisiana to get some soul food. So I remember going to places just like in somebody's neighborhood somewhere, they converted a house to soul food. You'd go get it. Like,
Is
I don't have that in
Louisiana?
South Louisiana. So she says you are all that.
Are they is it more Cajun food in the South?
Yes. Cajun, and in the city, like in New Orleans, it's Creole. So there is a difference between Cajun and Creole. So no, we have Louisiana food. We have Louisiana food. Okay, what Crystal doesn't understand is I grew up eating shrimp that was caught fresh from the Gulf that same dadgum day, even though I'm from North Louisiana. Just saying. So Creole girl, well, Creole, she might be some Creole, but Creole is more city food. But also she's like, Creole is a blend that has like, Cajuns more from Canada. People that came down, and Creole is more from, it's different. Crystal, what? You're supposed to eat collards on New Year. She didn't know because she didn't know. Just saying.
I don't like collards. And it's probably
my dad loved collards, but mom could never make them. But my dad grew up doing so. But I learned the trick to collards is you go to some market or somewhere and you get yourself some like turkey wings or something like that, and you put them in the bidon. You put that stuff in there, like you get the necks and all that kind of stuff. That's what you get, and you put in your collards, and it makes it so good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it works. It makes a difference.
Most people make it with pork though, so that's like I never eat it.
You put some fat back in there for sure. But to get that extra, you get that other stuff and you put it in there.
Black-eyed and cabbage.
I could. Yeah, I can make some good collards. But I learned from my friend because I traded her pumpkin pie because I can make good pies for some collards. She lives in my neighborhood, and like her family doesn't eat pie, but she does. And so we like
I make a good pumpkin pie.
Not pumpkin, pecan pie.
I've never made pecan pie before because meat water. I've never made
pecan pie, and so I'll trade her. But she is someone, let's just say, who knows how to make some collards. And she told me the smoked turkey wings and the smoked turkey necks, that's the trick.
My husband doesn't really like pecan pie, so I mean, he'll eat it, but it's super sweet. It's so sweet for him. He doesn't like that. He's more of, he wants the dinner.
Yeah.
The pie is secondary for him.
So I told my daughter, we were talking the other day, because I've been on this dang diet. Like, every summer I make myself a peach cobbler. I make peach cobbler, I share it, but like that's my thing, peach cobbler. And mine is kind of like peach cobbler, peach pie. It has like pie strips on the top. It's not like a streusel topping, but it's deeper dish. That's how I was raised. We call that peach cobbler. And like I said, we grew up with a peach tree. I don't know if I told you, I grew up with peach tree and a pecan tree in my backyard. So I love peach cobbler. If I could probably have one dessert, it would be peach cobbler.
You can keep it.
Girl, have you never had like homemade really good
Okay.
peach cobbler?
I'm not a huge fan of cooked fruit in my dessert.
So good. Do you like peaches?
Yeah. I like fresh peaches.
Yeah,
I don't like canned peaches. I don't like cooked peaches.
I make mine with fresh peaches.
No, but you got to cook them at some point. I'm not a fan of that. I only like raw.
You don't even know what you're missing out on.
Oh, I do. I'm good.
No, you don't.
But my husband does like peach cobbler, but he likes.
See, there's smoked turkey if you don't eat pork, ham hock if you do. Yep. See, you know,
smoked turkey to me.
Knows. You put some smoked turkey in them collards. It is good.
Smoked turkey to me is too salty. It tastes. Yes, I know.
You cook it down with the greens, man.
Smoked turkey tastes like ham to me, so I don't eat it. I don't eat smoked turkey.
Well, okay. Here's the difference. You are not from the South. So you have your own traditions.
Yeah.
Of not very good food.
You know what? I was young when I joined the military, and like we would have stuff, you know, when we lived near our family, you know, we'd have.
Oh my gosh, the vanilla ice cream is the best. Sorry.
Fresh peaches in a pie with vanilla ice cream. That's funny.
Oh my God, it is the best with vanilla ice cream. Good vanilla ice cream. I'm sorry. I'm dying here because I want to make it so much. I will make a special trip to find the good peaches too. I can't just have crap peaches. I have to go to the good farmers market to get the good peaches.
Yeah, we had good peaches where we used to live before here, because we lived in central coast of California, and we had is an agricultural area. They had good peaches, good strawberries.
I went to Central Market with my daughter. Do you know Central Market? They're in Austin.
Where?
Grocery store. Central Market, I think it's
called.
Oh,
yeah.
Really fancy produce, right? They had peaches from California. We walked by. I'm like, nope.
No. These were peaches that they just picked that morning, and they would bring them to the farmer's market.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, they're just not the same. It sounds weird. They are just not the freaking.
I like the white peaches. Yellow, they're okay. They're good, but I like the white peaches. I'm not a huge nectarine fan. They're a little too hard, usually.
Well, huh?
Yeah, they're just hard. I don't know. They were harder. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe it was the nectarines. I don't know. It's one of them I didn't. Maybe it was the nectarines I liked. The white nectarines and the.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But
they have the white peaches, yellow peaches, white nectarines, and white. And yellow nectarines.
So your mom said Georgia peaches are good, but I have you know more peaches come from better peaches from South Carolina, from Georgia, and they have good peaches in Louisiana too. Probably Mississippi also, but surprisingly, not as many peaches from Georgia as people think. More from South Carolina. I know my peaches.
Everybody says the best peaches are.
I'm telling you, because Alabama probably has better peaches than in Georgia. I know. Where I grew up, North Louisiana, good peaches. Great. Ruston, Louisiana Peach Festival, good peaches. But yeah. There's that like little strip on the United States right there.
Yeah.
Best peaches are from there.
Yeah, and in season, that's just the best time.
It is. I'm spoiled because I'm spoiled. I understand that. Like there's a lot of good produce in California, I'm sure. I know
Strawberries,
so much produce
strawberries.
comes from there.
Yeah.
But the peaches aren't as good.
I used to love when peach season came around and then strawberry season, especially strawberry season because I would buy flats of them and I would can them. I would make jam. I would make fruit leather. I would make syrup. Um, yeah. Oh my gosh, I just loved it because strawberries I think are my favorite fruit.
Oh, good. Strawberries
Yeah.
are. I did have probably the best strawberries I'd ever had from that Central Market. They might have come from California for all I know.
A lot of strawberries do, yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
strawberries do come from California, but it's not the same as when you live there, right? It's not the same as
Right. That's true. That's true.
and because you get them fresh.
Right. They have
Yeah,
some, but they're not as good here. So
I
you
miss
probably
good
do
fruit.
have really good strawberries there.
Muscadines is that like a type of peach or something like that, or like a pitted fruit?
I've heard of muscadines, but I don't know if I've had them.
Yeah, good produce is hard to find. I do like one thing I do like is the mangoes in Florida because yeah, they're so good over there and they're also really inexpensive. Whereas everywhere else is so expensive.
I remember when I was little, my mama and papa, because my dad's from Florida, like, so they had moved from Georgia down to Florida, like before my dad was born. My dad was born there, but their house had a grapefruit tree in the backyard.
Ooh.
It was so nice. Grapefruit.
When we were in California, my in-laws had a pear tree, a fig tree, an apple tree that didn't really produce much.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about, Tyra. Sorry.
Grape. Oh, they're like tiny grapes?
I think they're a little bigger.
Oh, they're big grapes? Oh, I don't know. Let me
There's the kind that are kind of like a little stripe on them.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's a southern thing.
My dad tried growing grapes, but they didn't really grow. Yeah.
We got so they would have a wine festival every year in the town where we lived, and they would give away the wine grape plants at the festival. That was like your parting gift. And so we came home with a few of them, and my in-laws just put them in the garden, and they just grew.
Wow, that's nice.
Oh, there was a pecan tree nearby us, Crystal. One of the neighbors had a pecan tree, and it would just drop pecans all over the place. And another neighbor had avocados, and they were huge, 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 huge. And
that's nice.
It'd be nice when you can actually no, didn't belong to anybody. It was like in the alley or something. It was on public property. And so if you can get there before other people did, and it was a huge avocado tree.
I didn't even know avocado. I've never even seen an avocado tree. I don't know what they look like.
They're hard to start.
Yeah, I know you're talking, Tyra. I'm pretty sure I've seen them. No, pecan. That's right, pecan. They're not pecans.
Pecan. What did I say? Pecan?
I don't know, but you said it wrong. Pecan. Did you know that pralines? I'm pretty sure pralines were invented in New Orleans. So anybody else that says it the other way are wrong because it is Louisiana.
Pralines. I say praline.
It's pralines because it is invented in Louisiana there. So there you go.
Well, I say praline. I also say apricot, and because I know a lot of people say apricot. I say apricot, praline, pecan.
I've never made pralines, but I probably could because one year I was gonna try and make some caramel for the state fair. I don't know why. I just like I'm gonna make, but I never did. I didn't get it in. But I made so many batches of caramels. It's like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to make caramel.
I wanted to do that one year, but I didn't want to have tons of caramels. I didn't want to have tons like hanging around. And I know it's well, I don't eat them, and like my husband will eat some, but my family doesn't really eat them. And to be honest, it's hard work, and I didn't want to give them away to a bunch of ungrateful people.
It's not that hard. I don't know. So I remember. So you're talking about when I was like things I made. So when I was a kid, I really did. My mom liked to bake and make candy also. So I don't know. I decided my papa and mama were coming. I told you I love my papa, and so they had been given this cookbook for kids, and it had this candy and used. I remember. I think it was like peppermint or something. It turned it pink. I don't know. It was probably so gross, but I was like, I'm gonna make my papa some candy. And bless his heart, that man ate that candy. I don't think it was that good, but he ate it. Bless his heart. Like he was just the nicest man. And I
Oh,
just love him to death. And yeah, so that was the first candy. I mean, I made candy as a kid, like starting
yeah.
out. So um
Oh, that's the other thing. When I was growing up, my mom made fudge,
yeah,
and
my mom
the
did.
fudge that she makes is more candy like, more. It's
How do
it's
you make
not like,
fudge butterfly hero?
huh? I don't like. It's funny because I grew up loving fudge, right? Because I only fudge I've ever had was the kind my mom made. And then when I was, out and about as an adult, we would go to place to buy fudge, like my husband and I, and I'm like, ugh, this doesn't taste right. And so I realized, yeah, the kind my mom makes is gritty. It's more, it's like it's granular. Like you can taste the sugar in it.
Hmm.
It's not it's not like a smooth kind of, I don't know. I don't like the kind that you usually find in fudge shops. I realized, and I had tried several kind over the years trying to find the kind like something similar to what my mom makes. And I was like, do I not like fudge? Except for how my mom makes it? I think she got hers from a Hershey's. You remember the Hershey's
On
cocoa?
the back of it, yeah, yeah, yeah. My
Yeah.
mom, yeah,
I think that's where I think. Mom, is that
right.
where you
But if it turned out gritty, see, my mom made that, and I've made that so many times. But it actually can be like, if it turns out gritty, it can be a temperature thing. That's not like it's not supposed to be gritty. Like I made a lot of times, and it's not been gritty. That
yeah,
whole
but it's
recipe.
like it's like the sugar crystals, and
Yeah,
it's
it's not
good.
supposed to crystallize.
Yeah, I like
It's
that.
supposed to.
It's good. It's good. It's really
I
good.
did the recipe so many times. My mom made that recipe so many times. Like, I think if it crystallizes, what happens is like you've somehow not thoroughly like incorporated the sugar into the process while it's boiling,
I don't
or
know.
it's not reached the temperature.
I remember her.
You said it's not, it was purposely done. See, she knows
Yeah,
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
she
it's not supposed to be that way.
she
Yeah,
likes it that way too. She doesn't like the other kind.
yeah.
I remember her getting a glass of water and dropping it in there.
Yeah, you have to make sure it's soft boil. When does it come? When is the International Quilt Festival in Houston?
No, November. There's two. It's Quilt Market is first, and then the festival is second. Um, when is it? Oh, hi, Pastry Queen. Is that Leanna? Is that Pastry Queen?
Second
November.
to the 7th.
Okay.
I will not be there then.
So
I might very well go to QuiltCon though in Raleigh this year.
what?
I think I'm going to go to QuiltCon in Raleigh this year
Oh,
because
is
I
that
have
the one that changes
was there.
places every year?
I'm not a fan of soft fudge. The interesting thing about fudge though is that like makes a difference. Humidity makes a difference. Your altitude makes a difference.
Yeah.
It's like I've realized making it if I don't let it sit long enough to cool off before then, incorporating the butter and stuff, it makes a difference. Like candy is really weird that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also made divinity.
That's like when I make syrup. I make syrup out of like vegetable, like not vegetable, fruit peels, the peels of fruits, the skins and the peels. But I have made candy. accidentally.
Accidentally, yeah.
Yeah.
John did
So
say he was going to Quilt Con. He said he was going to try and do it like pretty much the same day, which
is that the one that changes places every year? It's somewhere
yeah,
else.
it's a more modern quilt guild. So,
Mm,
yeah, I don't know. Like, we're really not that far from Raleigh. We're like 2.5, 3 hours depending. So we're really not that far.
yeah.
Um,
Depends on
I mean,
traffic.
where we live, there's not actually like a direct, you got to go like up or down, like weird to get on an interstate to go there. But yeah, like I don't know, maybe I'll see him there or something. Be like, hey, you. The funny thing about Sean is that every time he's like, then he says something, I'll be like, yeah, I'm in Yorktown. Oh, I live close to Yorktown. I'm like, every time Sean, we have this conversation. But I guess, there's so many people on his channel he doesn't remember or whatever. But, we'll talk about the quilt shop. Oh, I've been there. Yes.
Oh, the fabric stash, that one, or
No, like my local quilt shop is
oh
Sunshine Quilt Corner, and they're very, very nice people there. And it's nice because it's really right close off the interstate. So there used to be a lot more quilt shops in the
yeah,
area, but unfortunately aren't as many as there used to be.
yeah.
But they all have something different, as you know. And so I guess he's been sorry. Are you asking me, Tyra, where do I live? I live in Yorktown, Virginia. Is where I live. I'm from Louisiana originally, but I live in Yorktown, Virginia. I'm heading to Texas. My first time to Quilt Festival. I'm going there for business, meeting up with the company I work with. Oh, so
Cool.
you're going to get to go there for business and go to the Quilt Festival at the same
Are
time?
you doing oh wait, is your business separate from the quilting stuff? Because there's if there's the two. Quilt Market's supposed to be the best. If you have a business license, Quilt Market, which is
Yeah.
like maybe a week or two before or something like that, that's when you have access to the majority of the vendors and things like that. And then Quilt Festival is when you see all the quilts on display. And
But honestly, you say the best, Rebecca. No, but no, but I will reveal soon, she says. I will tell you this though. You say it's the best, but just think about the vendors. They're showing what's coming up, right? What they have out, what's coming up. But I know they have the Mid-Atlantic Quilt Festival every year. And I
Mhm.
love going because I love seeing the quilts that people make. Quilts that
Yeah,
people make with like current, past, whatever, however their artistic expression feels like, they have different themes. And it's really wonderful because I love seeing, not just I'm not necessarily about what people are putting out, what's up and coming. I love seeing the artistry of quilts and how
yeah,
regular makers like interpret things and make
yeah.
it. Like, to me, that's what I love. So
They're
if when I go
impressive.
to a quilt festival and I get to see that, that's, to me, is pretty amazing.
Hey, Tamika.
Because hey, Tamika, because everybody, like, it's so fleeting. It's funny because we
Yeah,
were talking one time when we were chatting, like, about, old lady going to, like, estate sales and find the old lady fabrics. I'm like, yeah, that's probably me with stuff that's in my stash. But at the same time, like, I buy what I love, right? And you see quilts that are out today, and it's really, really of the moment. It's like if you use a particular line in your quilt, 5, 10 years down the road, it's going to be dated for that time. The colors,
yeah.
it really, really is, which was why somewhere I saw it. I cannot remember who to attribute it to, but they're like, if you add some things from your stash, it makes all the difference, even in those lines. You know what I mean? If you're making a quilt and you add things, it does make a difference. It makes it a little more timeless. And
Mm,
it's nothing wrong if you love a line, because I have some quilts that I have kitted. I absolutely love a certain line, right? Like, I want to make this quilt in this line because I love it. But yeah, in 5, 10 years, you're gonna see, like, oh, those colors are from 2020s. It's
yeah,
gonna be,
yeah.
that's just the way
That
it
was
is.
kind of like how we look at, oh, that's really 80s, that's really 70s, that's really
Hmm.
whatever. Like some things just are so dated, and you can just tell.
Hmm. Yeah, and like even now, I was watching or reading or somebody the other day because kind of when I started quilting, the Civil War fabrics were really big,
Mm.
and the store at the time, the quilt store here at the time, used to carry a lot of that kind of stuff, and they were really big. And somebody recently was saying that as these designers retire, nobody's really picking up the Civil War line stuff. And
Mm.
a lot of people do like it because it has kind of a timeless quality to it in a sense. And I'm like, yeah, I have a bin of Civil War fabrics. I do like
Yeah.
them, and I mean, not say I don't love modern stuff too, because I have a lot of that stuff too, but I think there's room for everybody.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
But you're right. There is not as much of the Civil War reproduction, vintage, traditional, whatever you want to call it, because of all the quilt shops we have in our area. I think there's one that really has a great selection of that type of fabric. Majority of them have modern stuff,
mhm,
and with a sprinkling of um the traditional. Yeah,
yeah.
it's really interesting.
Tyra says the time capsule. You look at like fat, fabrics, quilts from back then, and but you see like the feed sack when that became really popular, when they realized that they could sell not only the feed that had the sacks that were printed that people could use in the quilting, but at the same time periodicals had patterns, so they would that the quilters would buy these magazines and newspapers and things that had these patterns. They would trace the templates and use them. So they would have
Yeah,
series of that kind of all came around about the same time. So you see a lot of quilts made at that time, because you really do. I would like to share a story though. I would like to share a story, a quilting story. So I was visiting my sister, my half sister, and since passed, but she was married to a man, and I was at her mother-in-law's house at the time, and this is in West Virginia, and she is an older lady. Even then, she's still alive in her 90s, but she when she heard that I liked quilting, she brought up some quilts from her family, from that her mother and her grandmother had quilted. And
uh-huh.
these went way, way, way back. And they were like coal mining type family. Like they came from nothing, right? They had like
Yeah.
no extra money. And these were clothes that they had. Well, and I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about her sharing these quilts with me. These were quilts that she treasured, and they were very well loved and well worn, and she took care of them. She didn't necessarily have them out because she didn't want to put any extra wear on them, but you could
Yeah.
tell that they were something that was so prized for she was
Yeah.
so proud of
She,
these.
she
And
cherished them.
I love that sort of story with quilting, because quilting really is very much an American uh craft. We didn't have much. Americans didn't have much. And now quilting has been like quilted fabrics, don't get me wrong, forever. They started like back in the day, like they quilted things to help like warriors, right? To help
Yeah.
prevent them before chainmail and stuff. But like quilting quilts and things like that is very much kind of an American craft. But her sharing this story and the love that she, reflected in the story that she told just touched me so much. And that is one thing that I think really draws me to quilting is this sort of tradition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was actually very cool. I would love for everybody to have some sort of like be able to relate that way somehow.
Yeah.
To a quilter,
Yeah.
just I am someone that I will mend something a million times, like I'm a very frugal person that way. So to make something out of essentially nothing that helps keep your family warm and to provide that, and I think about all the people, like Gee's band that had not much of an opportunity to express themselves artistically and to make something out of nothing and to express themselves in their own way. It's just like I love
Yeah.
the quilting tradition in this country.
When my and I'm pretty sure I'm telling this right. When my grandmother passed a few years ago, and my mom and some of her siblings, they went up to clean out her stuff. She found a quilt top that she had made when she was really young. I can't remember how old she said, but it was either middle school or high school age. And the fabric that's in it are is all fabric from clothing that my grandmother had made for her and her siblings. So it was just all of these leftover pieces, and my mom put them together in a quilt, or just the top. She made the top. And so she was just, she was pointing out some of the stuff, and I don't think she realized that my grandmother had it. And so she was just looking through and looking at all of these fabric that she remembers, so and so had this outfit and so had this and whatever, whatever. It was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because I had never seen a quilt like, from the way they had actually done it back then. I never seen a real life. This was how quilts came about. This is how I'd never seen that. You hear about it, you read it, you know of it, it's, why, where it came from or whatever. But I never actually seen it, and it was really cool. And I was like,
Yeah.
so she wants to finish it. She hasn't finished it, but she's hoping to get it finished soon.
I hope so. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I did grow up with a quilt. My grandmother gave me a quilt when I was little, and I had it for many, many years until it fell apart. I wish I knew then what I knew now, that maybe I could have somehow salvaged some of it or something. But I took it to college and everything. I loved that quilt. It was a
Oh.
Sunbonnet Sioux quilt.
Like
Yeah.
you said, there are outfits that my mom made for all of the girls probably over 60 years ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely to finish that. Rebecca's mom. I saw there was a woman in my neighborhood. She made crazy quilts out of fabric and all sorts of. There's one I remember was a vest. It had like the little pocket for like a watch pocket and everything. She showed me. It was pretty amazing. So I just love that. I love all the stories. Yeah, she will. She said she will. So, hey, are you a member of Crystal Heart's group, Rebecca's mom? If
I
not,
don't
I
think
hope
she is.
so. And then you could post a picture of it. I'd love to see it.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I am someone I have been quilting, like piecing, I say, for a while. I started uh, maybe 2009, 10ish, maybe.
Mm.
And even though it was funny, I bought a magazine like a quilting magazine way before that. I loved it. Had a flying geese quilt on the front. I was like, I want to make this someday. So I thought about it, but then
Those
and
triangles.
the quilting the class I took, she was like, oh, you cannot use a rotary cutter yet. She made us our beginner quilting. She made us make our own templates and stuff and make
Yeah.
parts. So I actually learned how to do that. And
Yeah.
then which was quite nice because I feel like that actually gave me kind of a leg up for. And then I took another class at the beginning, which is just kind of like zip zip, do your triangle sew into easy block, and I finished that quilt though, but I did learn a lot from the other class, and but I've made a lot. But I've just now, so I finished the one, right, the small little lot, but I'm actually just now quilting a bigger. It's like only my second one that I'm going to totally finish. So it's really weird. I think a lot of us are in different stages or have different things that we're intimidated to do or not sure about. And yeah, so it's been a learning process. And I've had to tell myself that even though I've been sewing for most of my life and quilting for a good number of years, this is really or piecing, this is piecing, I should say. This is in a quilting smaller projects, but nothing big. This is really only my second, like, this is biggest quilting project I've ever attempted. Really only second time I'm attempting to quilt a quilt. So
Yeah.
I had to give myself a little bit of grace with that because I've definitely made some mistakes.
Yeah.
But I'm learning from them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's I mean, I I like to, I like to be precise, and I like to know all of it, and I want to do it right and this and that, but that can mess you up when you're that way. If you don't learn to be a little bit more relaxed
Yeah.
with your craft, it can be very frustrating, and especially with the thinking of, oh, I have this beautiful fabric, I don't want to cut it, I don't want to mess it up, I don't want to whatever it is.
Mhm.
So, I got around that by, as anytime I do something new or learn or whatever, I use scrap fabric, right? Or anything that is um not high quality designer, whatever, from a local quilt shop. I'll use like Joann's fabric or something I found at the thrift store or whatever. And it makes it easier to make those mistakes and to practice on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's something I found for me personally, because I can be a bit of a perfectionist with things also. And I found that art journaling has really helped me with that.
Mm,
And I mean, there's a lot of awesome, beautifully created art journals out there. Mine does not look like that. I've showed you some. They're not that good. But it's just allowed me to just kind of put things sometimes down and not be a perfectionist with things, because
yeah.
it's just in the moment, kind of like a brain dump. And that's really helped me. Tyra once just said, speaking of quilt stories, have y'all ever seen an AIDS memorial quilt? No, I haven't.
Yeah.
So
My
what is that versus
it's it's there a different block for everyone that has died from AIDS.
mm,
And it's I believe there's like one, you send it all to this one, and they keep putting it together, and it's huge, and it travels the country, and I think it goes on display or something, but it's um or some people, there's like one major famous one, but there's there people have their own too, but it's like a block for each person that has passed from AIDS, which it's really amazing how many people have.
yeah,
It is
yeah,
it is definitely touching.
yeah. I mean, I grew up in that era when
Yeah,
AIDS was a thing,
yeah.
and yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
it was a death sentence.
yeah, it was.
So
So
let's see.
I'm
This one
so
back.
glad for like the medical
Yeah.
advances that they have had with that, because that's tragic.
So Leanna is pastry queen. If we drive to Houston that weekend for the show, let her know so she can meet up.
Yeah, you and Crystal could maybe do a road trip.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Hmm.
Art from the Heart. Is that the AIDS, or is that something else? The AIDS quilt, the AIDS memorial quilt, or an entire? I agree. I had a moment this week because my seams weren't matching.
We've all had those moments.
Yes,
I thought this. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I really try not to let myself have those moments because I do, and I really want everything to match up, and I'm trying to not be that person.
Yeah, I just remember what I've heard so many quilters say, even very, very advanced quilters. They're like, it's so funny because they kind of downplay their knowledge and stuff a bit, because they are never perfect. It's just like God. It's like God. A lot of quilters say God is nothing on this earth is perfect, and
Yeah.
so you have to keep them when you when you do quilts. Like some people almost feel like they do intentionally, so it's not perfect, but
Yeah.
it's really hard
Yeah.
to make everything match up perfectly.
I try to only stress over the things that really, really mess up. Like it just messes up the flow. But if you can't tell,
Yeah.
just from pulling back and looking at it, then, you know, like anything less. Well, whereas I was just working on something, and I was like, of course I see it, and then I'm like, "Ugh," but then I was like, okay, I don't need to stress about it. I don't need to stress. Like my
No, girl, you don't need to stress because your hobby should not cause you stress.
yes, exactly. I enjoy it, and I don't want to turn it into, berating myself and beating myself up over mistakes that are bound to happen.
Crystal says I rolled my state. Okay. Crystal, I watch you for one, your brain, the way it puts things together is pretty amazing. But yeah, you just do, and it all looks good in the end. Let me
Yeah,
say
yeah,
this
yeah,
that Art from Heart is genuine. Art from Heart is genuine. You are right. It is.
yeah,
And no two are the same. Yeah.
yeah.
So when I was a young girl, I remember going to Natchitoches. Crystal knows that well. And touring the plantations there. And oh my gosh, like, I know her. I will think I'm so bad with names sometimes. I will think of her name later. There's an artist, and she's very like primitive, self-taught artist. And she was older. Oh my gosh. I actually like bought her postcard, like a little picture of her because I just Clementine Hunter. Is that her name? I think. So her maybe grandparents had been slaves. Like that's how old she was at the time, right?
Oh wow.
Yes. And so grew up on it. And they grew up, there was this thing, and they just really didn't have like anything. And she made art out of nothing. And it just really touched me as a kid. Like it's one of those, they had like I can't remember the house she grew up, it was like uh but it had been like slave quarters, and it painted the walls and things like that. And just it was very bold and bright,
Hmm.
and just I'm pretty sure it's Clementine Hunter. And I met her. I have a picture with her. And she just really, for some reason in my like 12-year-old brain, like really touched me.
Yeah,
And I never forgot her. And just how, like, even from having nothing and being pressed, but still making art, that's still being a calling. And I just feel like, okay, if she could do that from nothing, then, why
yeah,
beat myself up over this, because I'm
yeah.
very fortunate in what I do have.
People pay extra money for those mistakes.
Yeah,
You know
like,
what I
well,
mean?
I mean, but she just, I mean, she's long past, but her artwork is in museums and stuff though.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
she's
but like the
legit.
whole
Yeah.
handmade aspect, right? People pay extra money for the handmade aspect, and because it's
Yeah.
handmade, it will have mistakes in it. There's just no getting around that,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Unlike something that's machine made, and um, you know.
Yeah. No, that's very true. That's very true. No, I just say, like, it's made in the USA. It's definitely like, made by Sheila,
Yeah.
not made in China.
And Crystal does make quilts fast. She does.
He does. Something that she and other people do that I don't do is like they use their mat as a measuring. And I just guess I was taught not to do that. I was taught to use my ruler as a measuring because it's more accurate than a mat. And I
Yeah.
just feel like people that do use their mat as measure just tend to do it faster.
The
Yeah,
same thing
I
with
just can't because I wasn't taught that way.
pinning.
I do pin. I was pinning as well.
Yeah. If you pin, you take longer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was watching somebody and they were talking about like, using the little clips around your quilt when you're binding. And they felt it's faster just to do it all at one time. I'm like, but really it's the same amount of time. It might just seem faster to you versus, doing this bit at a time. You're doing the same amount of time, but it just maybe to them it just appeared faster.
You mean as opposed to what?
So they're using the little
Like the Wonder Clips, right?
yes, like to,
Yeah.
for binding, when they went to hand sew their binding on, they clipped all of it at one time and they said it was faster. And I'm like, I don't know that it's faster than clipping so much at a time, to you.
Oh, I see. I see.
I don't think it's faster. It's still the same amount of time clipping.
Yeah.
you know.
I've not done hand binding, so I couldn't tell you the difference. But with the machine binding that I've started doing, I don't clip anything except for the beginning piece and then where I need to be at the end, and that's it. I just put it together as I go. It just seems to work out because my binding is not perfect anyway, so I just do my best.
I will say that this binding that I put on this quilt, like I will say that the part, I've sewed the one bit on, but it matched up really well. Now it took me 3 tries. I'm not gonna
I just
twisted one time, this, that, and the other, but now it's like really good.
as soon as I flip it over and I top stitch on the back side, it's so wonky, or it'll be bigger in one section and perfect in it. Like it doesn't match up. It doesn't match up right. But I'm okay with that because it's the back. The top looks nice.
It's done. How many quilts have you done? Finished totally?
Like 100%. Actually, full on quilts, none. But I've been doing, since I just recently learned to machine bind, I've been doing pillows. I've been binding pillows. And so and actually the orphan block quilt that I'm quilting, I wasn't going to bind it because at the time that she gave it to me, I was like, I don't know how to bind. I've not bound anything yet. And so she was going to take it back, but I'm going to bind it, Crystal. I've been meaning to tell you that I'm going to bind it because I know how now. But I need to get with you on what fabric you wanted on it. If you wanted the backing fabric, because I have plenty of that, I can do the backing fabric, or if you have something different in mind.
Tyra loves hand binding. And that's why I hand bind. She says, I'm going to any tips, Tyra? I'm about to I'm gonna hand bind a quilt. I've done a little bit, but like I'm showing, this is just from scraps, my little, like literally from scraps, my little thingy here. But I was just like practicing, hand binding. But any tips for a quilt?
Crystal's happy that I'm going to be binding.
Yeah, she does not like binding, I don't think.
I'll just use the backing fabric because there's plenty of that there. Well, let me see how much is there.
Just like matches.
Yeah, if it's enough to like use for another small quilt, I won't use it. But
Tyra, what needles do you use to hand bind?
I don't do much hand sewing anymore because it hurts my hands. But I do love hand sewing. I like hand embroidery and hand sewing. And I like a curved needle. And I know it's not for anything, for just about any sort of hand sewing I do. And I know a curved needle has specific purposes, but I find I poke myself less when I use a curved needle.
Girl.
I'm telling you, listen. You're not going to be able to see that. I know you're not. Okay. I have a hole in my finger right now, a little at the edge of my finger, when I was doing machine embroidery, and I was moving the fabric and fixing it. And I kind of, just for a half second, wasn't paying attention and sewed my finger. That hurt. I poke myself all the time with pins. All the time. I also burn myself a lot. You know what it is? I'm so
no.
Well, okay. I like my iron super hot, right? Crystal will tell you that. I scorch a lot of fabric. Or if I don't scorch it completely, anything that's white or light color does not stay that color.
Why? Why don't you have there's settings on there for a reason? There's cotton in
I
the
don't know,
linen.
because I want it done quickly and I want it flat. So I just turn it up max speed. But I'm okay with that. You yeah, I super iron. I do. I'm like, yeah. And
Does not follow instructions.
yeah, the fabric changes color. So, but this it actually worked out good for this particular one. So the $5 quilt thing that we do down in San Antonio, the fabric I'm using is Tim Holtz fabric. So you know how his style is like grunge and that vintagey kind of whatever. Well, the light fabric is like a cream colored fabric. But if you look at my blocks compared to when you go to the store to their block, mine is more like a light tan color. It's not cream colored anymore.
But you've sewn clothes, like there's settings for a reason.
Yeah, but cotton is different. Like quilting cotton is different. It can take a lot of heat, and so
Yeah,
whatever.
but also not that much because that's what the linen setting is for the high heat.
Yeah, I'm okay with that though. But see, now I have to do the rest that way because
black and gold. I'm writing this down. I'm taking notes.
her needles.
Yes, thank you,
Crystal's
Tyra.
fine.
I'm writing this down.
I have to iron the rest of my fabric that way so it all matches now.
Yes,
So
oh my gosh.
I have to because I have so much of my blocks are, a light tan instead of cream. So I have to do it that way. At least for that quilt. But I've been working on it because again, I'll be pressing a seam and I put my fingers so close. Sometimes I iron on my fingers, or sometimes I'm pressing a seam and I iron it and I go to use my fingers to spread it and it's too hot still. And yeah, I'm always, but see, I'm the same way when I cook. I'm the same way when I cook. I get burns all up my arms because I don't care. It just doesn't bother me. Like I'm always hitting the stove, or I'm always hitting stuff on. It just doesn't bother me. When I used to use when my hair was long and I used to use a curling iron, I would always burn something, my ears, my fingers, something.
Watercolor pencils. Girl, you never made a roux, clearly, because you got to be patient. I'm just saying, you could never make a roux.
No, I do that. I don't mind when the stuff is splashing on me. I just don't. I just want to get done when I'm getting done.
Okay, so one time, I'll just tell you, my daughter was home, right? And I don't remember what holiday it was or whatever, but I was like, I'm going to make some gumbo. So I got to make a roux, literally. So I have diverticulitis. There I'm stirring my roux, and I was in such freaking pain. And I was like, I cannot stop because I'm making the roux. I cannot stop. And I had the fresh shrimp and all the stuff. It's like, I cannot stop. Literally went to the emergency room the next morning, but also had gumbo.
Because of the roux? What?
Yes, once you started, you cannot stop. I was in such pain.
Oh my gosh. Look at that. Leanna said, sounds like you need those silicone fingertips. I've thought of that, getting something to cover my fingers. My husband gets on me. He's like, because my worst burn that I had recently was I forgot I turned my iron on, and this was my my dry iron. Like I had just turned it on, and I was looking at it. I was that when I used to iron my clothes religiously and my children's clothes years ago. I do a little lick and I touch the iron, and if it sizzles, it's hot enough. So I used to do that, right? So I'm used to there's a grace period before it gets hot to the point where you can't touch it anymore. Well, this no heat iron I have heats up really fast, and I don't know how I forgot I turned it on, but there was some dust on it, and I like to keep my stuff dust free. Yes, and I was like, oh, and so I was like, I forgot I turned it on. I literally like stroked, and the whole iron gets hot with the exception of the handle, right? The whole thing gets hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, and So my fingers kind of got burnt. My pinky got the worst of it. So I spent the rest. I had a little cup with ice, and I continued to do what I was doing, and I just walked around with it like this.
Oh no!
I was just doing one of these, walking around.
You need like a warning light or something. Like,
I know. I know. I mean, what's this? I always bump into stuff, right?
oh no!
I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you're okay. Like,
yeah, it's not. Crystal says she's the same way. Burn sticks, pokes everywhere.
do you have one of those like things that you can cover things are frying? You know, the little like guard. Do you have
Yeah,
one of those to put on stuff?
I do.
Okay.
I use them because I don't like the mess that happens around, Trying to get my husband to use it is a pain.
Also, thank you, Tyra, for like helping me out with the needle recommendations.
I think starch makes it more likely to burn. You know what? I don't use starch, but that makes sense because you're kind of cooking it, right? And starch is like potatoes or something. It's like it's something. Maybe not, there's something in it that's like food or something. And I don't know, it attracts bugs and stuff. So there's something in it.
I don't know that the newer starch does.
Maybe, I don't know.
But yeah, really I'm not a big like starch everything first. Oh, by the way, Crystal wants to know, like, Crystal, you want to know like us to show pictures? I'm tempted to send this as my picture for my August blocks.
That's good. That's a good one. You should
have my fabric picked out. These are my August blocks.
You should. Helped me. Tyra likes Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. I've got some of those. I like those.
I'm not surprised. Are they good?
Yeah. I like all his stuff. The thing I like about his stuff, he's very very multimedia. And
I like mixed media stuff.
And his colors, they work across all of the different media, right? He's got
I think I will.
He's got markers, he's got ink pads, he's got pencils.
So this used to be called Adirondack by Ranger, and I think they changed the name to Tim Holtz. I don't even know that they have the Adirondack one. I still have stamp pads that are Adirondack, but I don't think they even make those necessarily anymore. I think they're all like Tim Holtz stuff now.
They did have some Adirondack, but his stuff is the distress stuff.
Those yeah. But back in the day,
well, those are different from the Adirondack ones.
Huh?
Those are actually different.
They're different, and they're a different formula. I worked in a stamp store, don't you? Yeah. Yeah, but like back when he was like coming out and everything.
I remember seeing those. That they were around.
Yeah, I really like the Adirondack. There's another. She sees them a lot. She was based out of Williamsburg and then moved to, she was outside of like Richmond area now, I think. Oh, golly, what was the name of the brand? But, I
just figured out. Haha, look at that. I just figured out how to do that.
This is Rebecca's learning. We need more people. Hey, Crystal, I will come now that we know I can come on your Friday nights now that I know how to do it. Mm-hmm. If they can handle it, can they handle? I'm telling you though, like half an hour before we came on, I was not looking good. It's been a rough week for Sheila.
No, she thinks she didn't look good, but she looked fine.
Sheila had an extra long colonoscopy prep this week. And my thing was yesterday, but I had a 3-day prep, and I was done.
This is cool. I totally forgot about.
I love that you figured it out.
You can't stop the roux.
Oh, You cannot stop the roux, girl. Uh-uh. And I had gone to a place that had good shrimp. Like, we don't just get good shrimp wherever here. And I'd specifically gone, it wasn't Gulf shrimp, but it was not also Chinese shrimp. I went to the fresh market to get the good fresh shrimp.
Yeah. I don't know that.
And so I was not letting it go to, it was like $20 worth of shrimp.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no.
I don't know where. I would imagine we get good shrimp here, but I don't know where, because I don't know of a lot of good seafood places around. When I ask, because I love seafood, people say Papados, which Papados is very salty and expensive for what it is. And then I don't really know. I don't know of a good.
Is it a chain restaurant or is it like a single restaurant?
Papados is a chain.
No, you don't want to go to the chains.
Yeah. Crystal, do you know of a good seafood place? So they're driving right now, right? Are you guys still driving? Wow, we've been on. Oh my god.
I was just noticed 2 hours. I mean, for me, you know, I can talk forever, but for some people,
Yeah.
it's probably like, we're done.
I know. We're probably keeping Crystal entertained on her drive.
Are we, Crystal? Are you home yet?
Yeah, did you make no, she didn't make it. It's only been 2 hours. Well, I don't know what time she started. Good night.
You're in bed, see?
Uh-huh. I know it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast, right? It's 10 o'clock. It's 9 here.
It's Pastry Queen. I don't know her name for in real life.
I keep seeing Crystal say, I think it's Leanna.
Yeah, where do you live now that you're not in Puerto Rico?
New York. Did you say New York?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I wanted to know how to see her videos, like of her dancing, but I didn't know how to see those.
You have to go to her Facebook page. She posts it on Facebook. So Pastry Queen Farm Adventures. So exactly her name.
In New York? Where in New York? Are you in the city or are you like somewhere else?
I knew it.
Catskills. Oh, nice. Very nice.
So Crystal's on her way to Louisiana.
Beautiful there probably right now. My friend used to live outside of Syracuse. I used to go visit her. It was really pretty there in the summer.
Oh, yeah. Is that upstate New York?
Mm-hmm.
Well, good night, Leanna. Enjoy the rest of your night. Oh, she's got to get up super early. Ugh. Early morning.
Well, hopefully it's for a fun thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where Crystal is.
I don't know.
She hasn't answered. Where is Crystal?
Maybe she made a stop.
Yeah, huh?
Maybe they're there. In good old.
No, I mean
Louisiana.
I don't know where.
Daughter's coming to visit. Oh, nice! Her daughter's coming to visit.
Oh, nice. See, look, now that I know how to do it, I just want to put them all up.
She's getting wild and crazy now. Tamika's here. Can you handle it, Tamika? Hey, Tamika, are you going to go to the QuiltCon?
Where's she? Where's Tamika? Where are you at?
In North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So going through my ancestry, my great-grandfather is from North Carolina. He moved to Pennsylvania. I think that's where he met my great-grandmother, in Pennsylvania. But he's originally from North Carolina.
Is this on your dad's side?
My mom's. My mother's mother. My mother's grandmother and grandfather.
I can't remember which side came from Puerto Rico. Your dad or your mom?
My mom. My mom's father. My grandfather is Puerto Rican.
Okay, but your mom. She's from North Carolina.
North Carolina. See, here we go.
Whereabouts in North Carolina, if you don't mind my asking? I lived in Fayetteville. We were stationed there, but I love North Carolina. I had ancestors that lived in North Carolina years ago, but then we went from Virginia, North Carolina, and then not South Carolina and Georgia, and then eventually Florida. Wait, what?
She said, my dad called and kicked me out of the line. What? Wait, what? What's she wait wetting?
I don't know. She said her daughter's coming to visit. We were really excited for her.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Maybe she's wondering about your family. Oh, Puerto Rico, maybe, because she didn't know that you had like ancestors in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it can be kind of hard in this kind of situations.
Yeah.
Not walking. Yeah.
I
Even though I will say, in my little quilt market we have here, the Mid Atlantic Quilt Festival, they do have, like, I've seen people on these things, like, you can kind of sit down and go. People tend to put their packages on them. I don't know. But I have seen things available for people who can't get around as well.
Yep. So I
went right out of Raleigh. Okay. Yeah, she said, did you say you're Puerto Rican?
Mm-hmm. See.
She is part Puerto Rican.
I usually use. I have a wheelchair that I use because I'm disabled too. I use a wheelchair when I go to those events. My husband pushes me around. He likes to push me around. That's the only time he can do that.
What if you could even get like an early access or something? I wonder.
Sometimes you can. It depends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just depends. Sometimes you have to, like when I went to you know, the For Simon Says stamp, you know who they are, right?
Yeah.
I went to their Create last year, or no, earlier this year.
This year, yeah.
Yeah. And my sister came with me because my husband, I was just gonna go by myself because my husband didn't want to go, but he didn't want me going by myself. So my sister came with me and she was the designated pusher.
Gotcha.
But they let me in, you know, early because for some of the stuff because you know, it's just hard to navigate. And then I went with my daughter to she's an esthetician, and when she was in school there was a what do they call it? You know, those beauty events, right? Like a con for estheticians and cosmetologists. Right. They let us in. We were always at the front of the line, all of the people in wheelchairs, or if anybody had, you know, like crutches or a cane or something. None of my friends are crafters.
Tamika, you can also I'm planning on going, and I don't know anybody. So I can always let you know. Like, I have a friend that lives in the area, and I was going to go stay with her and go. But if you want to go and you need somebody to help you, like, let me know. Okay. Maybe we can get together because I'll be happy to help you if you need some help getting around.
Yeah. Usually I make my husband push me, but, you know, my sister came with me. She was not into what I was. Well, you know, she's an artist, but she wasn't into stamping and stuff like that. But she, you know, she pushed me. We had a good time.
Fun.
The only time anybody gets to push me around. Leanna's family is from Isabela and Bayamon. I'm not familiar with those places. My people are in. Actually, I don't know. I think my grandfather's not alive anymore, but his wife is, and she's there. I forget every time. I don't know. I don't remember.
Just to let you know, Tamika, I can be a talker. And an enabler.
Yeah.
Becky and Crystal can tell you. Yeah. But you know, I was also a Stampin' Up! Person once upon a time. So I do like to paper craft. So Definitely have that in common also, because Tamika is a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator also.
Oh, really?
Hmm. Yeah.
So is the Stampin' Up! Lady's daughter? Is she the one that did all this stuff?
Yes.
Has that gone around the circuit, Tamika? Has there been like some, are people kind of like, oh, or anything? I don't know. Are people talking about it? Crystal said, "You are definitely an enabler."
I believe it's in February 2024. I'm not exactly sure of the dates.
That's the QuiltCon it's North Carolina?
Yes, it's in Raleigh.
Oh, that would be fun
Yeah.
for you guys to meet up there. Oh,
Yeah, I did go to the convention center there. I took my son to a Lego convention one. Yeah.
She said everyone is talking about it. I bet. That would be like.
Really? By the way, did you know that apparently Shelley was there when they arrested her? She was there in Washington. Did you know that?
Who's Shelley?
Shelley Gardner from Stampin' Up! She was one of the owners. She's the mom.
Oh. So she was at her house?
She was at the Shanna's house when they arrested Shanna. Shayna, however you say it. Yeah.
She says she may have to do it. Y'all have to exchange some numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
Together. Yeah.
Are you from North Carolina originally, Tamika? I love North Carolina. I would live in North Carolina. That would be probably my state of choice, to be honest.
Yeah.
Having lived there, I just love the people from North Carolina, and yeah. Ooh, some people left because of it.
Interesting. Okay. Is she defending her daughter? Like, is there something going on?
Oh, when she left Florida, she and took the kids, right? After the dude died. Jared, wasn't that his name? She left and went to, and then Shelley bought her house. They bought the house for her.
So how long after he died
Okay.
did they make this connection with her?
Huh?
How long after he died did they suspect her? Because
I don't, you know how cops keep things under wraps.
Yeah.
But the dude that supposedly shot him, so Shayna's husband's friend lived in his house. They are the ones that arranged for him to be shot.
Oh.
With this other dude, and she thought she was going to get away with it, but she didn't. We'll see. But so Florida requested her transfer to Florida, and they were like, no, we need everything legally. Like, she is trying to, every step of the way, they're fighting it.
Kind of like
yeah,
that kid. You remember that
I
kid
don't blame them.
that went across the country with that girl who was the young girl who was a vlogger? Like, she did everything.
Yes.
And when he got back with her car and without her, his parents.
Brian Petito.
Brian
know.
I don't know. My husband's into that stuff. I see, that's not me. I'm not into the crime stuff. I don't care for the drama. It's just too much for me. But
I do like crime stuff.
He's all into that stuff.
Laundry. Thank you. Laundry. That was the name. Gabby Laundry.
Petito.
Yeah,
that's right. Gabby Petito.
Yeah.
And he showed up, and his parents, they knew something, right? They knew something.
They knew it all. I will tell you something interesting. So in the case in Idaho, where the 4 students were killed, I hate saying people's names almost at the killer because I don't want to give them The
Yeah.
judge in that case, FYI, his last name is Judge, so he's Judge. Judge.
That's
And the
why I
alibi he's given is, oh, he likes to drive at night. I am following. It's been way too much. You know, I listen to a lot of podcasts while I sew. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No,
But
thank
I
you.
don't know. And then like, I don't know. I find legal stuff interesting too, like the legal proceedings of it. And then there are people that I watch like behavioral analyst things and see how body language is with it. I find that interesting.
My son likes that kind of stuff and the
Mhm.
psychological part of stuff and this and that. And we make fun of him because he's got some books and it's like, are you learning how to take over the world? And I think one of the books is like, I don't even know, because I make up a lot of names because of it, but something about how to become a tyrant. I don't even think that's the book, but it's like, it's very psychological. It's supposed to be how to read people and how to uh just how to read people, behavior, body language, whatever. Um and how to interact and I don't know.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. Like, can read people, but does he change his behavior? Like, depending on his situation, does he know how things are?
I think so.
Mm.
I think so because he acts very differently at home than when he also he does security sort of. So, oh, Tamika,
Should be CSI agent in another life.
all of you guys, all of you all would.
Mm. But then there's the CSI stuff. Like, they get onto all the scientific stuff of it. That's a whole nother realm of it. So,
I don't
like,
watch
it,
any of
it
that
is
stuff.
very interesting how they all tie in together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't watch any of it. None of it. I rarely watch TV, to be honest. I
Life in
watch.
general teaches you a lot, right? Okay, so
You
your mom like probably knows you got to go with your gut. That's the one thing I will say. Listen to your gut. Like, it
Mhm,
knows people's intuition, they know. They know other people, they know situations. You got to follow it no matter what. It's
mhm.
like, yeah, it saved me before for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Too many people don't because too many people are worried about being nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't say I ever had that problem.
Being too nice because you're not from the
Yeah.
South.
Worried about being nice,
Or like,
not being too nice, because it's easy for me. I can be nice, but worried about being nice.
yeah,
I'm not worried about it.
like in the South, we're kind of raised to be like, you're nice and you don't want to upset other people or hurt their feelings. And
Mm.
sometimes you put your own feelings down because you want to be nice to others. That's like a thing that we're raised to do. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to be mean about it. Like, you don't have to be nasty, but
No, but there's a difference in not being nasty and then like if somebody you think they need help or something, but maybe they're just trying to take advantage of you, but you're like, oh, I feel like I should help them, you know? But really, you
mm,
don't need to help them because they might be taking advantage of you, you know? I don't know.
I would watch cooking shows, but I think I just don't anymore. I don't know. I just don't. I do watch YouTube stuff. I just have more just things that are just grab my attention more. I just
Is it bad that I think a lot of cooking shows people are just like bogus? Like you're just really probably not a very good cook.
there there I do agree that there are some out there that just yeah. I really I like the ones that cook completely from scratch. I don't like the shortcuts. I don't like the pour this from this and this and this. I don't like that. I do like to scratch like I haven't watched her in a long time, but she's that the real country older lady. Oh, what? Shoot. I can't think of her now.
Country.
Not Paula Dean, but somebody
You
else.
said about the woman from Oklahoma?
I don't remember where she's from. It's been a while since I watched her. But she's on Food Network. Short, round, older, white lady.
Now, I know you're not talking about Barefoot Contessa. She's not from the country. But I would
No.
tell you, that woman knows how to cook. And
Yeah.
one thing I love about her is that she uses quality ingredients and she doesn't use a crap ton of stuff. She doesn't
Yeah.
need all the fancy stuff. She uses a
Yep.
few quality ingredients and
Yep.
she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. Barefoot Contessa's pretty good. Dang, I wish I can't, because I really like her. She lives on a farm. She grew up and she says she grew up calling her family calls recipes rules. No, not Lydia the Italian lady.
I don't know. I don't watch that many because honestly, I think a lot of people, everybody cooks differently, but I think a lot of people aren't that original. And
No.
sometimes I just think that they just are not good.
There's some things occasionally that come out that are good, but I think, you got to find what you like. I think there's something to learning the basics.
You want to know where I learn stuff is like I actually have a subscription to New York Times recipes, and you go into the comments and people give all sorts of comments about how they cook things or what they substitute for things. For instance, you're particular, like you don't like too much salt, and people will say, I don't salt, so I use less of this and to me, I find that very helpful. I find there's a lot to be learned because it's real people cooking real food.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm. Pioneer woman is the pioneer woman. That's what I was trying to think of.
No, she does not. She does not cook everything from scratch. She uses a lot of shortcuts. I liked her because before I knew she even had a show, I used to follow her blog, and because she's a homeschooler, she homeschooled her kids too, and that's how I found her, through homeschooling. But so I did used to like her, but when I saw how she doesn't use, I don't like some of the things she uses in her ingredients. But then also, I'm not a huge fan of Walmart, and I was a little bummed that all her stuff is at Walmart. I was like, why couldn't you go somewhere else? Bring your stuff to Target.
I know that, like, my friend, though, in her town where she lives, like, that's the only thing around is Walmart. Like,
here, where I live, in this general area, that's all there was is a Walmart. They're starting to build some other stuff, but it's like, who in their right mind decided Walmart was an acceptable grocery store? Because it's not. They don't have that much.
Walmart's probably my closest grocery, and I never go there. But I have like so many stores really close by me. I'm very fortunate that way. Yeah. So I don't have to go to Walmart because I like boycott Walmart.
I can't wait till they finish building the other stuff here because they're building us a real grocery store.
Are they getting Hibbs?
H-E-B?
You're getting a Hibbs?
When I first lived in Texas, I was stationed at Fort Hood, and my husband and I were out or whatever, and I was like, what's Heb? He had lived here like a few years before I got here, and then he's like, oh, that's a grocery store. It's H-E-B. Because it does. It's Heb. Yeah. I want to say, I think my mom calls it that too, but I think she does it on purpose because when she visited us, when I had my daughter, Heb.
I don't know, but yeah. Almost so yeah. You talking about how you like to cook? That's one reason I really do like the.
Why are you hating on Wally World? Well, because they like to ruin communities.
They do.
They go
I
in
know
and
that sometimes the way that they store other things, like it's not good for the environment, things that they get away with in localities. I know that the way that they treat their employees, not great. A lot of times, like,
and also
so many bad
usually
stories.
places where they show up where there's a lot of small businesses around them,
Yeah.
those small businesses go out of business because
No.
Walmart underprices, or they undercuts their prices. They undercut the other stores' pricing, and then when those businesses are gone, they raise their prices.
Also, something my understanding is from what I've heard, like, so what is actually in the stores, like in the grocery stores on the shelf, like those companies pay, like, let's just say Kraft, for instance, pays to be put on their shelves.
Hmm.
It's not like just bring whatever. So you don't get just whatever in Walmart. They actually pay to be like at prime spots and stuff on the shelves.
Yeah, because I think it's premium, right? Getting into Walmart is like a
Yes.
big deal. If
Yes.
you can get your product into Walmart, that's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
because it's everywhere now and everybody shops at Walmart.
I mean, because I think Walmart groceries are gross, like that, like their produce and their meats and stuff. Because I remember, like the butchers, like they just didn't like they were treating. They're like Walmart, all their meat is cut off site somewhere
Yeah.
and
Oh
brought
yeah.
in. You know,
Everything's
like
brought in.
yeah,
Everything's brought in, and their their produce section to me, and when you go in the back room, because I worked there for a hot minute when I first moved here, just to give me something to do, and literally it was a hot minute. I think I was there for 6 weeks, and their produce section smells like mold. It smells moldy,
yeah.
and it's just it's, yeah, I don't like it. But I also have a very, very good sense of smell.
Yeah, Crystal's right. Walmart meat. Ugh. Yeah, no,
I
like
mean, you got to do what you got to do, right? Sometimes people don't have anything else. They can't go anywhere else for whatever reason.
right,
But if you
right.
have a choice, it's not ideal. It's not the greatest.
I mean, like for instance, I went to my local grocery store, Food Lion, right? It's like it's North Carolina based grocery store. Some people like it, some people don't. But I went some chicken, and it was like, oh, the kind you have to cook now. It was like manager special, but I'm like, I'm cooking this tonight, so it was way cheaper. So there are things that you can get that are less expensive. But I also have I'm able to go whenever. I don't have to be like, okay, I have this time Sunday between 4 and 5 to go to the grocery store, and that's my only time, kind
Yeah.
of thing. I understand how people have certain restrictions and when it's available to them and what's available to them. I get that, but yeah, no meat water from Walmart, no.
And Target is the same. Yeah. They're not grocery stores. They are, man.
Manager special means it expires tomorrow. That's right, which is why I cooked it that same day. That is right. I'm like,
Mhm.
I know I'm going home and cooking this meat today. Yeah.
Um,
Real, but it's a lot cheaper if you can get it that way. Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. For
hmm
sure. You
hmm
can grocery shop on a budget on places other than Walmart, you know.
I actually have an app and it will let you know, like if you put something in that you want, it will compare prices, like, and let you know if it's on sale in a store in your area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which is nice. But I mean, I really have so many grocery stores very close to me. I'm very fortunate that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where we used to live, even though we were in a small town, we had very good options. And then we moved here to a bigger area and we don't. It's
Wow.
really weird.
That is weird. Don't even have like an Aldi or something.
Nothing's close to us.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate going to multiple
Multiple
stores
stores.
too.
To be
And
honest,
that's,
I shop a lot at Costco, so I don't It's silly.
Yeah.
Go to a lot, different stores.
The multiple store thing, now that is a real issue for the senior population because at where we used to live at our church, a lot of people who went to the church I went to didn't like Walmart, right? But there were a handful, and majority of the church I went to, they're really old, but a handful of them that didn't have a whole lot of help people to drive them around everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Going to a place like Walmart or Target or a place that has multiple stuff like that was the answer to that. So they just went to one place. They didn't have to bother their grandchildren or their children to take them to multiple places or, whatever. One stop, and then that was it. I'm all about Instacart.
Yeah, I don't shop at Walmart, but I've heard that Walmart has kind of become the Instacart place where it's like hard almost to do regular shopping because there's so many Instacart shoppers there in the aisles and stuff. I've heard it can become a bit of a pain trying to do your maneuver around the Instacart people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess it just depends on where you are. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's pretty big around here. A lot of people do that. But I don't know, your produce and stuff, wouldn't you want to go check it out yourself?
Yeah. Because I know during the pandemic, it was just like, ugh. I tried not to order produce. I just either ordered frozen or went myself when we were able to. But the only time I used Instacart was for Costco. And that was during the pandemic time.
I didn't even know Costco did Instacart. I've never seen it at mine at all.
I believe how it works is the workers from Costco do the shopping, and then then the Instacart person picks it up and delivers it.
I don't know. Because I've never seen those Instacart things going around the Costco trying to get stuff.
Yeah. I think the workers do it.
Ah, I've never seen that. Interesting.
Maybe
it's not everywhere. Was that just during the pandemic?
No, I believe they still do it. They because I have an Instacart account, to be a shopper, but I have not done it ever. I think I've had it for like 3 years, but I've never done it. And I want to do Costco because you get more money from that, right? But you can't do Costco until you've done a few. It doesn't open up for you immediately.
So she said, Tamika says, Crystal got me addicted to the meal prep boxes. I love them now, but only when they're on sale. So I'm tempted. I heard my dietitian said good things about those.
They're good. They're good. We did them for a while and they were great for like my daughter when she was still when she was not early on in her cooking, like I'd already taught her some things, but it was a good practice for her to put it into effect. And I saw it help her a little bit in the beginning, but it's great for her to just go. But it's, it's all fresh and healthy stuff and you don't over buy. Nothing goes to waste as long as you cook it, because there have been times where we didn't cook it and something went bad. But that was usually like the vegetables or something, and the vegetables we can usually just replace if something went bad. But yeah, they're good. And there's so many out there.
So, Tamika, how many people are you cooking for with that? Because I would probably just be cooking for myself. My son is so picky. He doesn't really eat vegetables. Just curious. I don't know. Maybe grocery shopping is sometimes the only thing that gets me out of my house. That and football. With my friends or something, but I'm a hermit.
That's because
I feel like you want to be a hermit, Rebecca, but you've got too much stuff going on.
I know, man.
I think like Rebecca would love to be a hermit, except for days when she wants to go to the quilt stores.
And you know what though? With this heat, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, you guys, it is so awful. It just makes you not want to do anything. And I have hardly done anything this summer, really, because it's just you're so miserable. You leave the house, you get into your car that's stupidly hot because it's like 105 outside, but your car's not 105. Your car's probably like 100, depending on how hot it is, right? 120, 130 or more. It's your car is really hot. And the AC doesn't work like this. You're in that for several minutes before it really kicks in. And then you run your errands and you go from your car and it's hot outside and you go to the cold building and then it's just a lot. It's a lot.
I just think like after as long as y'all dealt with it, it's just so draining.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, we lucked out. We had some 99-degree weather. We were so happy for this 99-degree weather.
Get on the parka.
It felt nice. It was like, oh my gosh, it feels nice outside.
Yeah.
But now it's back up to over 100 again. And
it's like it's going on for months and months. Like when I was there, it was in the hundreds. It's been going on all summer for y'all.
Literally.
That's
before summer. I think it started in May. The 100-degree weather. Oh yeah.
It did pour when I was there. I feel like that might be the last good rain y'all had. Like it stormed one night while I was there. It was
the last
June, like mid-June.
Yeah.
That didn't even rain. Last good rain y'all had.
It didn't even rain that much here.
Yeah.
Where I'm at. It rained where you were, a lot where you were. Like I think when I came home, there was barely any rain. And I can't remember if Crystal got rain where she is, but a few days ago, we thought it was that's why the weather got down to 99 degrees, because it was supposed to rain or something. It said it was going to rain, right? There was a 51% chance of rain, which it never did. Well, it droplets, like very itty bit, like for 2 minutes, whatever, 5 minutes. It was super windy though. It was super windy. So and it was overcast. So we thought something was going to happen, but it didn't.
People have been talking about the weather there, and I haven't said much because it's for the most part been really pretty nice here where I live. So we do have we've had coastal flood warnings here the past few days and flash flood warnings. But I am not complaining. I mean, it's been really pretty nice here. It's like, shh, nobody moved to Virginia. Stop here. It's been nice. Yeah. I mean, people in Virginia might complain, but I'm not complaining. It just cracks me up when people in Virginia start complaining about the weather because I'm like, y'all have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, it's been nice. But well, this has been a lot of fun. It's so funny. We had our little what are we going to talk about? And then we just got so sidetracked.
Well, we hit a few points where we met, when you started sewing, whatever.
Yeah. Didn't you talk about all the different crafts now? All the mini crafts, but
oh my gosh,
it's another time. I know, right? Like, I feel like it'd be interesting for people to post all the different crafts that they're into, but I don't even know.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Like, I want to crochet. I also have stuff. I still think it'd be fun to dabble in polymer clay. I've dabbled a wee bit, but too many crafts. Y'all did.
We did that.
Said for our 4 people. We entertained.
We entertained the heck out of these 5 people.
I know,
right? We did polymer clay for a little bit. My daughter, she's really talented. She can whip up a lot of stuff, and my daughter's really talented artistically at a lot of different stuff anyway. But it comes so easily to her. I think she feels like she doesn't do a good job. And so I'm like, you don't understand. People can't do this. Yeah. And the people that do, people pay for this. And she always thinks, oh, this doesn't look good. This doesn't look right. But that's the artistic, right? That's our artistic mentality, because it does come from you, whatever it is you create, right? And so you feel like you are being judged. a lot of times on whatever it is that you've created.
I've actually bought polymer clay pieces from like craft fairs. I think, people can be really talented that do a lot of that. And I think it's so cool. So, by the way, Crystal, I don't know if you saw my little I had to wear like fun earrings in honor of Rebecca. I got the little boots on for Texas.
Oh,
It happened. So, yeah. But this was fun. Maybe we'll do this another day.
Oh yeah, you got to be on Crystal's live.
Yeah, I might need to make 2 drinks for that.
Except that one only lasts.
Keep up with Gina. I'm not saying Gina drinks, but she's just like, whoo, rapid fire. Like, gotta keep up.
Gina
is like, I feel like she's like someone. She's funny and she's witty, and it's like gotta keep up.
Gina from the group, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Gina. To keep up with her wittiness. Yeah. Oh, okay. Come on next Friday. Let me check my schedule. What am I doing? Probably Crystal Hard.
You're going to be here next Friday, right?
I'm just saying.
You're not doing anything else next Friday. You're going to be here.
I'm always here. What are you talking about?
Whether you're live or watching, you're still going to be here.
I'm like talking to y'all whether you know it or not.
Yeah. Isn't it so much easier when you are live with somebody?
It is interesting because I feel like you and I are talking in a room, really. And then people commenting because I can see it. Like, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
My friends.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Gotta get the camera right. You're good at that. Mine's wonky, but still. Aren't hearts really wonky?
Yeah, they're
like, it's good.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's probably because I have really long fingers, so I'm able to make it.
I have tiny hands.
There we go.
Hands.
It's also the angle. I know my angle.
Oh wow. The drinks.
Yeah, I'm just water for me. That's why I can do it.
Are you really just having water?
Yes. Are you kidding me? If it was anything but water, oh my gosh, we would have ended this at least an hour ago because I'd be like,
I can go.
I'd be hot.
Me. Tamika says me. I don't know if me is Tamika. Does that mean you'd be the one that'd be like, I'm out after one drink?
Mm-hmm. I'd be hot. I'd be like, okay.
You're young for hot flashes, girl.
Yeah. Well,
I guess it's just Texas.
No,
it's hot
flashes. It's hot flashes. I'm pretty sure my mom got them young too. Lucky me. I'm so done. I'm done. I'm ready for that stage to be over.
I could say something, but don't be in a hurry.
Yeah, I know. I've always been worried about that because what happens afterwards?
You want me to tell you what happens afterwards? Your boobs go way south. That's what happens afterwards. Your boobs.
Then that's when you got to make sure you have your bra on.
I'm just saying that surprised me. I was not expecting it. Oh well.
Well, we know why.
It's almost 11 o'clock my time.
It's 9:48 here. It's still 9 something here.
Yeah, I'm an hour ahead.
I need a few drinks to be on Crystal's show.
Nothing wrong with that. What's your drink of choice, Tamika?
Crystal. Does it count if, like, I don't know.
Friday night's my party night. I don't drink every night. Y'all know that. It's my party night. I party with you gals.
Yeah.
And you guys may be showing up.
Have fun. That's okay.
Of course, until football starts.
Tyra.
I feel like y'all talking about Ross.
Yes, that seems to come up a lot, doesn't it?
I did put one on for y'all tonight. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Back
I think
to life.
Crystal's responding to when I said doesn't count.
Mine already, Sal. Oh Lord,
Yeah.
have mercy. Y'all are cracking me up over here. I hope you're laughing in the car, Crystal.
And your husband turns and looks at you like, "What are you doing? What are you
They're
guys
talking
talking
about
about?"
Ross. Rum and orange juice. Do you ever put any like grenadine and pineapple in there? Kind of like mix it up. Mm-hmm.
I used to like
Style.
gin and orange juice. I don't do rum though.
Little gin and juice.
She's laughing.
Y'all don't know this, but I have a bar at my house, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't drink it all, but it's there in case I want it.
I rarely drink, but I have a ton of stuff because I find a neat little drink on Pinterest and I want to make it.
Ooh, if you find something, I actually made up a drink. I wrote it down because I don't remember it, but it was good. But I did write it down. So, because I know Crystal, they have like where they make up drinks, and they're like, "Hey, here's the drink of the night." I don't remember what y'all call it. There's a thing they call it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I was thinking about that last week when she was talking about it. I was like, I did make up a drink. I don't remember though. But yeah,
You gotta stay ready.
gotta stay ahead of the game. Just in case.
Yeah.
You know
Oh,
what
yeah.
my idea was? In case somebody comes over to my house and they want to, nobody comes over to my house. I don't want people in my house. It's a mess.
That's funny. My husband's like, why? Why do you have this? You don't even drink it.
Just in
Just
case.
in case.
And then there's the Jello shot alcohol for the Jello shots, just in
Yes,
case.
I
I'm
did
Jello
that.
shot queen. I'm telling you.
I
I
made
had to Jello
Halloween
my
themed.
prep, and I'm like, this is not right. There's no alcohol in it.
I made Halloween themed Jello shots.
Girl, I made Halloween Jello shots and take it around my neighborhood for the adults.
Yeah. So that was my plan, but I ended up not sharing them.
Oh my gosh. That's too funny.
Because they're candy corn, so it was like yellow and orange and then whipped cream for the white.
Oh, that's fancy.
It was good.
I just did like orange, green, and purple versions.
Oh, yeah, this was fancy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, didn't I already start this conversation with Pinterest?
No, but apparently I need to share your Pinterest board with you.
Yes. A lot of good stuff on there.
Yeah,
You should see my drink board.
Hmm?
You should see my drink board.
I need to.
I probably have made almost everything on there.
That's too funny. Crystal, when I come into town, party at Rebecca's house. Just saying. Happening.
Hey, come on down.
I might have to crash. You got a sofa, I'm good.
I have a big sofa.
Yeah. Party.
And an air mattress.
We're good. I need to see you. It's happening now. I'll bring something. Be like, hey. I'm like, the thing is with my like diet, I've had to go to like not sweetened drinks, but I'm in. Except for this tonight was this different thing, but whatever.
Yeah. Special occasion.
Yeah, I'm still getting over my whole ordeal for the week. I survived. Oh well. But yeah, this was fun. I feel like it's really like we've been on forever. Not surprising for you and I.
Yeah, I know, right? We brought you guys along with us on a normal FaceTime session that we have.
Minus Sheila's mini show and tells. Sheila gets a little stuck in the show and tells on the FaceTime. Y'all were
And
spared.
it's a little more cleaned up, right? We didn't talk about anything crazy. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
We kept it PG.
But what show and tell would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I might like show and tell some of my cross stitch that I've done.
Oh yeah, you should do that with Crystal.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Easy and strong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're doing the shine on cross stitch too, right?
I am, and I did work on that some this week, so I'm kind of getting close to caught up on that one. I am better on that one than I am on the quilts.
Well, we saw what your quilt is.
Yeah.
Don't forget to post a picture of that.
I will have to do that. All right. But yeah, well, I'll be around if you want to for real, FaceTime and chat or something. Yeah.
So thank you guys for coming, all 5 of you. Or don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you like what you saw.
I'm going to be binding that quilt, Tamika. I have a baby quilt, and I have to make cookies for my friend. That's what I have to do this weekend.
What are you doing for Labor Day? Staying indoors? It's hot.
Yeah. So
are you doing anything?
Me? I'm going to have to bind that quilt and make cookies for my friend. She requested it was her birthday, but I was, doing the thingy, so I said I'd do them this weekend.
Y'all have a great night. You too.
You too, and enjoy your time back home.
Yep.
In Louisiana.
Yep. We can't wait to see you next Friday.
Or say Louisiana. People in Louisiana, by the way, in case you don't know, they say it differently depending on where you're from.
Well, good night, everybody. See you. Good night. I can't say when I'll do it again, but thanks for being here.
This is fun.
Thumbs up buttons, subscribe, and the notification bell. Bye. Take care. And